Jesus is real, but you devils taught lies on Christ. So many lies that when we come with the truth, people think that the lies is the truth and that the truth is the lie.
Who changed the truth for God into a lie? In English, Jesus Christ, in Hebrew, is Yahweh Shai. So do or die. The Immaculate Conception is deception, along with the myth of giving gifts on December 25th. Christmas is Satan's claws, the birth of Nimrod, and not the Son of God. To you was kind of odd. On the Passover, Christ was born in the spring. So now we bring the truth about the King of Kings, the Black Jesus, and not Caesar Borgias. And the facts can't be changed. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai.
Hebrew Israelites, Kwam Yashala.
It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai.
Shalom, Israel. Shalom. Thank you for joining us again today for another class here at ISBHPK Houston. We thank you and welcome to our live YouTube channel. All right, we're here in Houston, 8524 South Braeswood Boulevard. If you're in the area of Houston, listen, come out. Again, we're at the address of 8524 South Braeswood Boulevard, Houston, Texas. As well, we have another school in San Antonio, Texas. The address is going to be 4219 Centergate Street, San Antonio, Texas. The school's been out there over 25 years. We have some awesome, wise teachers out there. Banabad, Mashaba, Shamshawan. You got Tazapah. You have some a lot of elders out there. As well, we have another school in Albuquerque, Texas, or Albuquerque, New Mexico. My apologies. With the address of 501 Copper Avenue, Northwest Albuquerque. All right. Again, the school is in Albuquerque, New Mexico, 501 Copper Avenue. All right. So if you have anybody in the surrounding areas, listen, give them the address, send it to them, because these classes are necessary, man. That's why we have these buildings for our people, so that they can come and learn. This week's announcements: we have a class Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Starting Monday, today our class is from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Wednesday, same as well, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Then Friday we have class from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. And then we have the Sabbath morning class from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. or until class is over with. All right? We have classes in Austin, Texas. They're coming. Next class, I'll have that specific information for you regarding Austin's time and location. All right? So Austin is started and moving and grooving. So if you have anybody out there, hit us up and we'll get you the information. We have children's class as well. Children's class has started back up. Last Sunday was their first class from the long break after Passover. All right, so if you have any kids that need some words on Sunday, specifically kids class, we have it for you. You can check that out on ISBHPK Kids channel. That is necessary. Our kids are growing up in this wicked society. All these schools that they go to, elementary, junior high, high school, they're defiled. You got little kids smoking weed, looking at all different types of defiledness on the internet. So these classes are necessary to refresh and to rebuild their mind. All right, so that's going to be every Sunday from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. And that's going to be found on ISBHPK Kids channel. As well, you can find our live classes on ISBHPK on YouTube for any live classes. We have a lot of recorded classes on a lot of subjects and topics. Anywhere from Genesis breakdown, Revelations. If you want to know about the Gentiles, who will be saved, who the Hebrew Israelites are, we have all those classes. And we have a lot of, we've been separating the questions from the classes as well. So that's specifically for you. All right. We have the Hidden Truth radio show. That's going to be airing. This is going to be May. It's going to be May the. Actually, it's going to be May the 1st. All right. That's going to be the first Tuesday in May. May the 1st, and that's going to be from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. You can find that on Street 93.3 Global Radio, or you can go to www.street933.com, or you can download the app of TuneIn, and you can search on there /Street 93.3. So this is just another avenue to get this word out to our people that are listening to on this 93.3. If you're in the car, this is definitely good for you. They play the show over and over, so it'll be definitely something for you to check out. As well, we have Mashaba, the elder down in San Antonio. He has a Blog Talk Radio. All right, so you can check him out Monday through Friday, 9:30 a.m. So this is just a little bit of bread for the morning. Some nourishment to get your mind right and get ready for the day of going back into this wicked society that we live in. All right, you can find that at blogtalkradio.com/Mashaba. Again, that's Blog Talk Radio, and that's going to be blogtalkradio.com/Mashaba, Monday through Friday at 9:30 a.m. All right, and we are taking Israel wear orders again. So you can go on Facebook. If you see any type of garments that you may like or any ideas that you want the sisters to make for you, listen, go online and request your garments. All right, the sisters have made some beautiful arranged garments, female and males. If you need handbags, we have them. If you need book coverings, we can do them. So we have some talented sisters here in the camp that have put their hands to use for the Most High's family and His people. All right. And if you want to reach any of the teachers, you can reach Kazakia, Priest Kazakia, at the number 281-707-2737. That's Priest Kazakia, 281-707-2737. Priest Kwatazap at the number of 303-557-8979. All right, Priest Kwatazap, 303-557-8979. And if you want another form of communication, we have the email address as well. So you can reach us at isbhbk@isbhbk.org. All right, so any type of email questions that you want corresponded or talk with us at, send it there. For any contributions, listen, we're open to anything when it comes to pencils, pads, highlighters, desks, cars, radio equipment, speaker equipment for our street speaking. We're open arms, and we're definitely in need of it for the edification of your people. So if you have anything, listen, it's welcome. Any monetary donations, you can see on the bottom of the YouTube channel, there'll be an account. There's an account right there. You can send the funds directly to that account, or if you have Google Wallet, you can actually look up isbhbk@gmail.com and send funds there as well. Because once again, we do this for our people. This is not going in our pocket. This is going for traveling to different states, Dallas, New Mexico, where our brothers and sisters are at, that need the word and that want us to come out there. We greatly appreciate all those that have been giving and that continue to give. We greatly appreciate that. And listen, with that, we're going to turn it over for questions and give it to Priest Kwatazap.
Shalom.
Shalom.
I was on the mic like I was about to say something deep. Y'all got questions? While y'all think about that, there was something that I just want to clear up from Saturday. Go to, from Saturday's class on the Sabbath. Go to Leviticus 10 and verse 1. I want to just clear this up and make sure that it's clear for everybody. When they go to, this was part of the Sabbath reading, right?
Good.
Am I in there?
On.
Okay, just making sure. While they get their questions online. Nah, this is good. Go to where did I say?
10 and 1.
Read that.
And Nadab
Uh-huh.
and Abihu, the sons of Aaron, took either of them his censer,
Right.
and put fire therein, and put incense thereon, and offered strange fire before the Lord.
Right, so Aaron's two sons offered strange incense to the Most High. Now this is already after Moses and Aaron went through and sacrificed for the congregation and consecrated themselves and purified themselves, right?
Good.
These two brothers took it upon themselves to do something that they weren't supposed to do. So they burned strange fire before the Lord. Go ahead.
Which he commanded them not.
Which he did what?
Commanded them not.
Go ahead.
And there went out fire from the Lord.
So, okay, you gonna burn strange fire to me? I'm gonna burn your ass up. That's bottom line, right? Go ahead.
And devoured them.
And did what?
Devoured
So the
them.
Most High wiped them off the face of the earth. Plain and simple. Read on.
And they died before the Lord.
So they died. Now think about it. If I got a brother and he died, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna feel sad for him, right?
Gone.
I'm gonna mourn.
Gone.
That's the natural thing to do. That's the natural instinct, is to, damn, Most High took him out. Like, let's start the mourning process. Because why? I miss him. It's my brother. We were close. Right?
Gone.
Go ahead. Keep that in mind. Read on.
And Moses said unto Aaron, This is it that the Lord spake, saying, I will be sanctified in them that come nigh me.
Go ahead.
And before all the people I will be glorified.
Go ahead.
And
So the Most High. So listen, the Most High was showing his glory when he took these two brothers out. He said, I'm gonna show you the difference. I'm gonna show you the difference, and I'm gonna show you what this sanctification means. I'm gonna be glorified before y'all by any means necessary. Go ahead.
And Aaron held his peace.
And Aaron didn't say nothing. He was like, okay, go ahead.
And Moses called Mishael and Elizaphan.
Which are the two sons, the other two sons of Aaron. Aaron had 4 sons.
Gone.
They were all Levites. They were all in the priesthood. Right? Go ahead.
The sons of Uzziel,
Right?
the uncle of Aaron,
Uh-huh.
and said unto them, Come near, carry your brethren from before the sanctuary out of the camp.
Right? So, think about it. Read it verse 4 one more time.
Come. And Moses called Mishael and Elizaphan, and the sons of Uzziel,
The son of Uzziel.
the sons of Uzziel, the uncle of Aaron, and said unto them, Come near, carry your brethren from before the sanctuary out of the camp.
So they had to take their brothers out of there. Right? Burnt up. Right? Go ahead.
So they went near and carried them in their coats out of the camp, as Moses had said.
Go ahead.
And Moses said unto Aaron and unto...
So let me be clear. Let's see here. Mishael and Elzaphan. Those aren't Moses' sons. Excuse me. Those are the sons of Uzziel, the uncle of Aaron. So Aaron's uncle had 2 sons. So Moses called Aaron's uncle's 2 sons and said, look, get your family out of here. Right? So y'all get that so far. Now we get to the part where he's talking to Aaron's other 2 sons. Go ahead.
And Moses said unto Aaron and unto Eleazar and unto Ithamar his sons,
Right.
Uncover not your heads.
He said what?
Uncover not your heads.
Go ahead. So, he said, uncover not your heads. Read on.
Neither rend your clothes.
Because what did we do when we mourned the death? What did Israel do when they mourned the death?
We shaved our heads and we rent our clothes.
Make sure you raise your hand. John had his hand up. Go. You're going to say the same thing?
Yeah.
Right. We rend our clothes. Some brothers ripped out their beards. Some, not all. Some brothers shaved their heads. Right? Now, and the reason why I'm going to this, because there was a statement made that said that the priests kept their head covered. That they had their heads covered. So we got to understand what was the Most High, what was Moses instructing Aaron? What was he instructing his sons? When he said, uncover not your heads.
Not to mourn.
Not to mourn, but not even to remove your priestly garment. Not even to remove, because what did the priests wear? Go to, hold where you at. Go to Exodus, the 28th chapter. It's important that we go through this because, remember, when we say things on camera, when we say things in the classroom, if it's not right, we can throw people off. And they may get a misunderstanding. They may get a misunderstanding because if the scriptures say one thing and something else is being said, then we got to always clear it up. So read Exodus 28 and just start at verse 1 so we can get a context of what is going on here in this chapter. So go ahead. Start at Exodus 28 and verse 1.
Con. Exodus chapter 28 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
Take thou unto thee Aaron thy brother,
right,
and his sons with him,
from
among the children of Israel.
Read.
That he may minister unto the chief priest's office.
Unto the priest's office.
Unto me in the priest's office.
Read on.
Even Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu.
Right, which is Aaron and his 4 sons. Right?
Come.
It names his. Read on. Read on.
Eleazar, Ithamar, Aaron's son.
Right. These are Aaron and his 4 sons. So this is, when you read this is basically the beginning of the priesthood. This is how it all started. It started with Aaron and his 4 sons. So now you see why the Most High checked Aaron's sons so hard, because they were supposed to be the standard. That's one point. 2. Read verse 2.
Verse 2. And thou shalt make holy garments for Aaron thy brother for glory and for beauty.
So the garments were to show the glory and the beauty of the Most High and of the priests. Most High wanted things to be done beautifully. He wasn't with that old ragtag, we're just going to throw some sackcloth on and sacrifice animals. Think about it. The priests were doing what? What were they doing? They were getting blood. They were getting bloody. But if you look at the detail of these garments, you're like, damn, that's a waste. But it didn't matter. Even in getting all filthy and dirty, the Most High wanted us to look a certain way. So we understand, he said, make holy garments for Aaron thy brother for glory and for beauty. Jump down. Read verse 4.
Verse 4. And these are the garments which they shall make.
Go ahead.
A breastplate.
So they had a breastplate, right? Go ahead.
And an ephod.
The ephod. We know the ephod had the stones in it, right? The 12 stones. Go ahead.
And a robe.
They had a robe. When you go into like the details, it was a blue robe, right? Go ahead.
And a broidered
coat.
Broidered coat.
Read.
A meat tree.
A what?
Meat tree.
Okay, so the priests wore a meat tree. Somebody look up the word meat tree. Now, if you try to Google it, it's not going to come up meat tree. It's going to be miter. M-I-T-E-R. What's up?
In the Zondervan?
In the Zondervan, what you got?
The headdress was cheaply worn as a protection against the sun and a finish to a completed costume.
Right, or garment.
It varied from time to time according to rank, sex, and nationality.
Okay.
In the main, however, there were 3 known types that were worn by the male members of the Hebrew and the surrounding nations.
Right.
The cap, the turban, and the headscarf. The ordinary brimless cotton or woolen cap, corresponding somewhat to our skull cap, was sometimes worn by men of poor circumstances. Captives are seen wearing these as they are depicted on the.
So you see the point where it's talking about it's a head wrap, right? When you look up the word meat tree, watch this. I'm going to just 1828 it. That's the 1828 dictionary. Webster's. I'm going to put in meat tree. Actually, you can't. You got to put in. Oh no! You know what you do? Check this out. You go to the My Sword. You go to Exodus chapter 3 and verse 4. You look up meat tree. It's H4701. It doesn't give you too much detail. It says the definition. By definition, a meat tree is a turban of the high priests. So what you do is you look up what a turban is, and you learn that a turban was a long piece of cloth. The long piece of cloth that was made out of linen. For us, for the priests, it was made out of linen. You got other nations now, like you got a lot of those Middle Eastern countries. They wear turbans. Saudi Arabia, they wear turbans made out of linen, wool, whatever. I think they use linen also because it keeps them cool. But you understand that the turban, it's wrapped. You know, the matazampa, we call it, where it's wrapped in a way where the crown of your head is exposed. The crown is exposed. Now, What you got?
I was saying he was just about to get to that.
Oh, was he? Go ahead. Yeah. I'm sorry.
It says the turban was made of thick linen material.
Linen, right?
And formed by winding the scarf or sash about the head in artistic style, neatly
tucking,
concealing the ends.
Right, because even when we wear it, we wrap it up in a way where either the end sticks out in the back or we just tuck it up. A lot of times when we wrap it, we have that end that just sticks out. You see some brothers do it different. But the way it's wrapped on the sides, and you'll have this part right here. You'll have this part, the crown of one's head is exposed. Because another thing that the priests wore when you go through these garments, where's it at? They wore their mitre, but they also wore a crown of gold right around on top of the mitre, right? So they had like headdresses on. When you look up when it talks about the hood in Isaiah, when it goes through all the different garments and it talks about the hood, it wasn't literally a hood. It was a turban that was wrapped. When you look it up by definition, when you look up the hood, it tells you it was a wrapped turban. So they wrapped it. So we're trying to get the understanding of Leviticus chapter 10 and verse 6. So let's go back there real quick. And then somebody else give me 1 Corinthians chapter 11. And we won't even have to hit verse 1. Because we got to understand something about Paul. And this is where a lot of the confusion comes in, where the scriptures say, through thy precepts I get understanding. Right? And what was Paul always doing whenever Paul wrote, what was he always referring to?
The law.
He always referenced the law. Right? He gave understanding of the law, same with Christ. So read that. Verse 6 in Leviticus 10 and verse 6.
Go on. And Moses said unto Aaron and unto Eleazar and unto Ithamar his sons,
right?
Uncover not your heads.
Yeah, don't even take off the mitre.
Neither
don't take off the crown, the mitre, the hood. Right? Go ahead.
Neither rend your clothes.
Don't take off your clothing. Go ahead.
Lest you die.
Right. So the Most High was letting them know, you're not going to mourn for wickedness. Right? That's why he was giving them these orders. You're not going to mourn for wickedness. You're not going to show that you were down with their actions. You see that? Go and the point is obviously to uncover not your heads. He was letting them know, because this is the thing. How do we know that he wasn't saying don't shave? Let's go to 1 Corinthians. Let's go to 1 Corinthians.
1 Corinthians.
Chapter
11.
Right. 1 Corinthians 11.
You want 4?
Give me 1 sec. Oh, well, yep, we could definitely start there. Start at verse 1.
Verse 1. 1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
Be ye followers of me, even as I also am of Christ.
So, check this out. Paul is following who?
Yahushua.
Matthew 5:17. What did Christ say? Think not that I've come to destroy the law or the prophets. I've come not to destroy, but to what?
Fulfill.
But to fulfill. Check this out. Go to, where you at? Go to read on, go ahead.
Come. Verse 2.
Right.
Now I praise you, brethren, that you remember me in all things.
Right, go ahead.
And keep the ordinance as I deliver them to you.
Who were the ordinances delivered to? How did Paul get the ordinances?
Through law.
But how did he get the understanding of the ordinances?
Through Christ.
Through who?
Christ.
Because Paul had the law, right? What was Paul's issue?
The spirit of the law.
He had no understanding of the spirit of the law, right? lawyer. Right?
Con.
So Paul didn't have, yeah, can we cut those? Yeah, I'm freezing. Paul didn't have the understanding of the spirit of the law. Right? So we know that the ordinances came to Paul from Yahushai. Who did Yahushai get the ordinances from? Go ahead.
The Most High.
It's real simple, right?
Con.
It's based, I mean, if we look at the scripture and just look at it, you know, it tells us. I'm looking for this one. It's in the Gospels. Go ahead, read on.
Verse 3.
So he said, keep the ordinances as I delivered them to you. Because why? They were delivered to me from Christ. They were delivered to Christ through the Most High. Right?
Con.
Go ahead.
But I would have you know
that
the head of every man is Christ.
Go ahead.
And the head of the woman is the man.
And how do we know that Christ got the ordinances from the Most High? Because it tells us right here. Go ahead.
And the head of Christ is the Most High.
You see that? So this is how we know that the ordinances came down from the Most High through Christ to man, to women, to children. This is how it's supposed to go. This is the structure. Read on.
Every man.
So here's one of the ordinances. Here's one of the ordinances that was delivered. Because remember, Christ didn't come to change the law. Right?
Come.
Go ahead.
Every man praying or prophesying.
So what did the priests do?
Pray.
They did what?
Pray and prophesy.
They prayed, they prophesied, they did everything in the name of the Most High, right?
Come.
Go ahead.
Having his head covered. Dishonoreth his head.
So let's think about it. Hold where you at in that Corinthians, and let's jump right back. Show you something. Jump right back to Numbers 28. Jump right back to Numbers 28. In verse, oh no, Exodus 28, right? You found it? No, there it is. 24, yeah. There it is. That's it. Hold that real quick. Read Exodus 28 and verse 2.
Exodus chapter 28 and verse 2.
Go ahead.
And thou shalt make holy garments.
There should be what garments?
Holy garments.
Wait, garments of dishonor?
Holy garments.
Holy garments, go ahead.
For Aaron. Thy son, thy brother, for glory.
For what?
For glory.
For what?
For glory.
Go ahead.
And for beauty.
So think about it. If you pray or prophesy with your head covered, why would the garment that you wear be a garment of dishonor? Why would the Most High make it that way? You wouldn't, right?
Come.
It don't make sense. Because he said the garments are for glory and for honor. Or glory and beauty, excuse me. But it says any man that prays or prophesies with his head covered, he dishonoreth his head. So why would the Most High, listen, does the Most High set us up to break the law?
Law.
No, right? That would be confusion. I'm not the author of confusion, but of peace. So why would he say, look, make these holy garments that are going to make you break the commandment? He wouldn't. What's that, Jeremiah?
I have a question.
Yes.
So, like, even with saying that, because we know, like, sometimes the Most High did do things to where a lot of people might saw that as foolish, but it was wisdom.
Right.
The Most High can take what's wise to us and is foolish to others.
Right.
So, with that same situation, it's like on the Sabbath day, the priests had to do the offerings and all that. You know, right? But they were calling that work, but how should I say they were blameless.
Right.
So how could it not be a difference with that, even with their head coverings?
Well,
like everybody else?
Well, because the difference is this. Is it good to do good on the Sabbath?
Huh?
Yeah. See, the problem was we didn't understand the Sabbath from the jump. We hit that a lot, but we didn't have the understanding of the Sabbath. We thought that the Sabbath was a time for us to just sit in our closet and be mummified for 24 hours.
Right. Light out.
Yeah, we just thought that it was about. We didn't understand that the Sabbath was for what? What was the Sabbath called in the scriptures?
Sabbath rest.
Well, it was a holy convocation. So what does that mean?
I get it.
Okay, so think about that. Don't it take work to gather?
Come.
You got to get up off your butt, get up out your bed. You got to get dressed, right? See, we didn't understand. Yeah, especially nowadays. You know, we didn't have the understanding of the Sabbath. That's the thing. We didn't have the understanding. You see that? Where Christ had to come and give the understanding that, listen, it's really not work what the priests are doing, because it's about your good. Now, if you're out there doing wicked, that's when you're really breaking the Sabbath. It's like this. Perfect example, when we out there street teaching on the Sabbath, and a brother comes and he sees us dying of thirst, because it's Houston in a summertime, 110 degrees, whatever it is, and he says, here, brother, take this water. You think I ain't going to drink it? Hell yeah. Because how good am I going to be at street teaching if I'm dying of thirst? Am I going to sit there and question, like, when he bought it? No. Oh, when did you buy that? Today? Well, guess what? He didn't plan to see me dying of thirst. He didn't know I was going to be out there on the Sabbath. So he might have seen it like, damn, that brother's thirsty. Let me go grab him something to drink. It's good to do good on the Sabbath. So that's a different situation where the understanding have to be brought forth. Just like this, the understanding has to be brought forth. You see that? Because let's jump back real quick to 1 Corinthians 11 and 4.
1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 4.
Read that again.
Every man
What's
praying.
that word?
Every man.
Some man.
Every man.
Go ahead.
Praying.
Uh-huh.
Or prophesying.
You see that? It's every man. So we know one thing, that every person didn't have the job of the priest. Right?
God.
Every person didn't have the job of the priest. But this says every man praying or prophesying. So we got to understand and look at the scriptures. And does it say thou shalt not cover thy head? Does it ever say that in the Bible?
Lie.
Doesn't say that, right? But if we get in precept upon precept and go into the different instances, and we're understanding that Paul didn't come to change nothing. Go to that Luke real quick.
This is Luke chapter 24 and verse 44.
This is what I knew it was in Luke. See, this is what we have to understand, that we didn't have the understanding of the law. Luke what?
24. You can start at verse 44.
44? Oh, I was looking right at it. Okay. Go ahead, read that.
Luke chapter 24, verse 44.
And I was like, go ahead.
And he said unto them,
Read.
These are the words which I spake unto you,
Read.
while I was yet with you,
Read.
that all things must be fulfilled, which were written in the law of Moses,
Go ahead.
and in the prophets, and in the Psalms concerning me.
Right, because guess what? They didn't understand the things that were written in the days of Moses. They thought it was just about, sacrificing bulls and doing things on the carnal level. Right? So Christ had to do what? Read on.
Then opened he their
Wait,
understanding.
he did what?
Opened he their understanding.
Wait, no. Christ came to change things.
Opened he their understanding.
Christ came to open the understanding of the law. Go ahead.
That they might understand the scriptures.
And that's the point where we read something and it says, uncover not thy head. Right? And we just take it for face value. But the scriptures say through thy precepts I get understanding. That's why it says in Isaiah, precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little. What's up, Jeremiah?
Can you break down for me? Because what I had brought up, what I had read before, when I was reading the scriptures, it's in Leviticus chapter 21 and verse 10 through 12.
Let me go there real quick. But we understand this point so far, right? Make sure you hold that Corinthians. Where you say,
Leviticus 21, 10 through 12.
10 through 12.
And this is what I was referring to.
Okay. Go ahead, read that.
Leviticus chapter 21, verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
And he that is the high priest among his brethren, upon whose head the anointing oil was poured, and that is consecrated to put on the garments, shall not uncover his head, nor rent his clothes.
Right?
Neither
okay, so watch this. See, we got to get it in context. What is this chapter talking about? Let's see here. So we know this is the law regarding priests, right? Now, check this out. Start at priests. Right. You see, okay, so let's read verse 10 one more time. We gotta just look at the whole verse.
Verse 10.
Uh-huh.
that is the high priest among his brethren, upon whose head the anointing oil was poured,
right?
And that is consecrated to put on the garments,
right? So he was consecrated. He was set up for the purpose, right? Go ahead.
Shall not uncover his head.
Yeah, but it's saying the same thing that we read in Leviticus, right? It's saying the same exact thing that we read in Leviticus chapter 10 and verse 1. How do we know? Finish it.
Nor rent his clothes.
Nor do what?
Rent his clothes.
Why would anybody rent their clothes? What was the purpose?
Mourning.
Right. You see that? Right. But the uncovering his head, you got to remember. Let's look at the total body. Let's not look at one scripture. Let's look at the total body. It says, any man praying or prophesying with his head covered. When we looked up, what did a priest wear on his head? What did he wear? Jeremiah? He had a mitre. We looked up what a mitre was, right? It says turban, and we looked up what a turban was.
When you see people wear turban, you can't see it.
No, when you see like the Middle Easterners that wear turbans, they wear them wrong. Because what they do is, and I've seen it, they wrap the turban, or they wrap a stocking on their head, and they wrap the turban around it. You see what I'm saying? So, the way we wore the turban ain't the way they wear the turban. Because it does say in Corinthians, any man praying or prophesying, right? Dishonors his head. So, I mean, if we examine that scripture, why would the Most High say dishonor me? Or dishonor Christ? Because the head of the man is what? So every time that priest put on his garment, I'm just openly dishonor Christ? Logically, it doesn't make sense. Logically, just if you look at it on a logical, just like why would the Most High set the priest up to be dishonorable? He's the example to the people, right?
Yeah.
Right. Think about it. You brought up the instance about working on the Sabbath, and the priests worked on the Sabbath. What were they doing? Were they doing good or bad?
They were doing good. I'm not saying they were doing bad.
No, I'm just asking. I want to show you. They were doing good, right? Yeah. What were they doing? They were sacrificing for the sins of the people, right? They were circumcisions. All these different things. Think about it. You said this the other day. Let's say you had a boy, and his circumcision, you're supposed to circumcise the 8th day, right? What happens if that falls on the Sabbath? What do you do? He has to be circumcised, right? Why?
Because it's part of the covenant.
It's part of the covenant, but are you doing bad because it's on this? Are you because you circumcise and you follow the law of the Most High on the Sabbath? Is that a bad thing? Nah. See, that's where Christ came in to show them, like, listen, you can circumcise on the Sabbath. You can heal on the Sabbath because you're doing good works. Now, if you're out partying and doing all that madness, then we got to reevaluate your thought process. Not saying you, but that's how he was bringing it to the Pharisees. Like, if y'all out here thinking that it's about partying, gambling, and just doing whatever you want, your pleasure, because what was the Most High's pleasure? That we kept the law.
Yeah.
The pleasure, the Most High took pleasure in us that we circumcised our sons on the time appointed. But he came back in Isaiah and said, if you do your pleasure. So if I'm out there partying, kicking it, smoking, drinking, right, women, then I'm in the wrong. But if I'm doing the good through the Most High, then I'm technically, if you want to say I'm breaking the law to follow it, there's no such thing. There's no such thing as breaking the law to follow it. It's really just about the understanding. What were you going to say?
You know, when you think about it, though, too, just a thought. Think about it. You know, with this scripture was saying that when the priest gets anointed, he should not uncover. But think about it. So his head's going to be covered and the oils is going to be just dripping on the turban, on top of the turban. You know, so it's the same thing when it talks about Aaron. You know, the oil that went down Aaron's beard, it went to his head. You know what I'm saying? So that's just just another angle to look at it via how he wore our headdresses. You know, so.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's given all these different rules for the priests. But when it's talking about uncover his head nor rend his clothes, because if you read it in context, it's just talking about the priest dealing with death. Because the next verse in verse 21, it says, neither shall he go into any dead body. Think about that. The priest wasn't supposed to deal with dead bodies. That was the high priest, right?
Okay.
Neither defile himself for his father nor for his mother. So if his mother and father died, he wasn't supposed to go defile himself. Because why? He always had to be the symbol of cleanliness. He could never be unclean, because then how can he sacrifice for sin? Even with all that blood and sweat and this and that, the priests weren't really unclean, else they wouldn't be they would die if there was any uncleanness in them.
Sweat.
What would happen?
Sweat.
What would happen to the priests?
Yeah.
They die right there in the sanctuary.
You wouldn't hear no bells.
Think about it. Even if they didn't wear their bells on their garment, check this out. Perfect example. Did the priest wear a garment border of blue?
Gone.
Did they? Oh, does he? Of course they did.
Yeah.
But when you read in the priest's garments, what does it say? It don't never say like Numbers 15:38. What does it say? Fringes, border of blue, right? And then for the priest, it comes back and it gives you all these other details, bells, this, that. You didn't even have a border of blue. Of course they did. That was standard. And then everything else, the border, the golden bell, the pomegranate of blue, the pomegranate of violet, the pomegranate of purple, the golden bell. But of course they had their border of blue. They don't say it. But everybody had to have the border of blue because of what it represented. Just like every man had to have his head uncovered because of what it represented. Just like every woman had to have her head covered because of what it represented. That's the thing. We got to look at what did it represent in the eyes of the Most High. It represented, I'm not going to dishonor my head. Right? Jump back real quick. So you got, I mean, you get that? Or is it still kind of unclear? Or you just not seeing it?
I've been reading.
You said what?
I've read it a couple times.
Right.
I was just showing like how he made a difference between the priests and everybody else with certain themes.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And the only reason I brought up the Sabbath part was to show that too, when it was showing like how they were still kind of blameless. It's not that he was doing that to make them defile their head or dishonor their head, but it was different standards and different things for the priests.
But this is the thing. I think the part that you're not seeing is that when we looked at what a turban is, and we looked up what a mitre is, it tells us how it was worn. It was worn around the head. Right. Now, the way they do it now, because you got different turbans.
On the garment, I see that represent the top man over is when they talk about we wear the headband. You know, we wore the mitre, we wore
right.
We wore a headband.
We wore a crown.
We wore bonnets.
A bonnet. How what? The head over the, right? But
I don't know because they don't say that.
But do you see
everybody that I ever seen? Like, well, I take it back because I have seen some with the crown over that the so-called Jewish people wear. You know what I'm saying? Then they have some where it's not.
You never seen Ariah? But think about it. The so-called Jewish people have their head covered. They wear the yarmulke. Their head is, or whatever however they wear it. Yeah, they're basically covering their crown. You see what I'm saying? And then what do? Their women don't wear their head covered because they think the hair is the covering. Why do they shave their head bald and throw on the wig? So they got it all wrong. You see what I'm saying? They got it all wrong. So we can't follow them. We got to go back to us. Right. We just got to go back to us. But even Ariah, he will wear the turban. And when you see it wrapped, the way it's supposed to be wrapped properly, because you'll see these Middle Eastern dudes, they'll do it. Right. But this is open, the turban, but what they have underneath it is a stocking that covers their head, that matches the. I seen a dude, man, he rolled through the mall. This dude had a 3-piece suit on.
Oh yeah.
He was clean. He was
He's a Sikh.
He's a Sikh. He wears a turban. I looked at it. Guess what he had? A stocking. It was wrapped just like how we wrap it, the proper way. But he had a stocking on, and it no longer was the way we wear it. All we did was take that linen and just wrap, boom, 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 and wrap it a certain way to where this was exposed. I mean, we got to look at the words in the scripture. When you go back to Corinthians, it says every man. So again, let's go back to our custom and the way we did things, because the way they do turbans these days, they're all wrong. They do it to their belief. John.
Yeah, I'm looking it up. It says in the Muslim world, religious elders often wore a turban wrapped around a cap.
You see that?
Known in Arabic as kalansawa.
Yeah, or they wear the kufi.
Where'd you find that at?
Turban fashion history.
Yeah, they wear the kufi and they wrap the turban around it. So the kufi sits Y'all seen Denzel in Training Day? He was rocking one.
God.
The kufi.
Right.
That covers, like, it's like a little skull cap.
God.
But then what they would do is wrap their turban around it. It's the same thing the Hindus do, the Sheiks, the Sikhs. It's the same thing that they do. So let's jump back real quick. Let's jump back to Corinthians.
Come.
11.
4.
11 and 4.
Come. 1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 4.
Go ahead.
Every man praying or prophesying, having his head covered, dishonoreth his head.
Read.
But every woman that prayeth or prophesieth with her head uncovered, dishonoreth her head.
Go ahead.
For that even all, for that is even all one, as if she were shaven.
Right. So, I mean, we get that, right? We go through that a lot. Let's see here.
Verse 7.
Verse 7. Watch.
Verse 7. For a man indeed ought not to cover his head.
He ought not do what?
Cover his head.
Go ahead.
For as much as he is the image and glory of the Most High.
How were we made in the image of the Most High? Through the wisdom, right? Through the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. So, if we're supposed to be the image of something, he's not going to create us to be not the image, or he's not going to give us things to not be the image of him. Think about it. We got to really just think about it. If we're read verse 7 one more time.
Come. For a man indeed ought not to cover his head.
Go ahead.
For as much as he is the image and glory of the Most High.
See that? We're supposed to be the image and glory of the Most High. So, if we're supposed to be the image, when you say I'm the image, I look like, or I represent. You see that? So, we gotta. That's why it's so important to take all the information into account and really look at it, because then, what are we saying? If the high priest was covered, then the high priest is no longer in the image of the Most High, but he was made in the image of the Most High. From garment down to everything that the high priest performed was after the image of what the Most High wanted. It was after the wisdom. What's up?
But this will made me almost throw my head out at one point when I had read it.
Right.
Because he said a man ought not to cover his head.
Right.
Since he the image and glory of the Most High. So what's y'all take on that?
Well, this is the thing. Like, you know what's funny? I got a gang of hats. When's the last time y'all seen me wear a hat? It's been a minute, right? Am I saying not to wear hats? No. Because if it's cold as hell outside, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to throw on that skull cap and keep it moving.
Come.
Right? Or if I just feel like I want to wear a fitted that day, I'm going to throw on a fitted. But we got to understand that if I start praying, if I start getting into the Bible, the first thing I'm going to do is remove my hat. Because through the understanding of the scriptures, I know that any man praying or prophesying can't have his head covered. Now, you know what my problem was? I'm constantly praying, and I'm always teaching. Right? You get to a point where you're like, damn. Somebody hits you up, and it's always scriptural. You always find yourself talking to the Most High. So what do? I was like, well, I just ain't gonna wear hats. It ain't no big deal for me. It might be a big deal for him where he's like, I need to wear my hat for some fashion. I want to look good in my hat. So I'm going to be conscious that when I'm praying or teaching, I'm going to pull my hat off. It's respect. I mean, we think Esau get it. When you walk into a building, you take your hat off. Because they want you to respect that building.
You said Pledge of Allegiance. Right?
Yeah. They want you to respect their pledge. They want you to respect what they deem as something above you. So, again, I got a gang of fittings. I got Yankee caps but you probably didn't know that. You probably, because you don't see me with a hat, right?
No,
Except for
the
yeah. I'm just saying, like, even me, I got a lot of hats. You know, I'm not saying that not to wear a hat. I'm just saying with my job and what I do on a daily, I don't have time to do this. Right? I'll be taking off my hat on every phone call, on every text, so I'm just like, I don't need to wear no hat. I just don't wear one. I mean, but it's on you. If you want to wear a hat, but just remember, when you're praying or teaching, you're supposed to take that hat off. But then what do a lot of brothers do? Brothers cut a little hole in the top. You see what I'm saying? I think you did it. Yeah. Brothers do that. I mean, like his hoodie. Mashaba had the hood on at the Passover. What did he do? He had to cut out the top. Because the whole point is through the understanding of the scriptures and getting all the pieces, we understand that a man ain't supposed to cover the crown. This is determined the head. When it talks about your head, this is what it's talking about. There's that spiritual connection to the Most High that you don't want to block. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, my take is wear your hats. Just remember, if you're praying or prophesying, to pull it off. Me, I'm just like, I don't need it. But there'll be times where I'll be like, I'm gonna wear a hat today. You know, whenever I'm talking to a brother, I take my hat off anyway because my hats come down low. So I take my hats off anyway, so I can look a brother in his eye, he can look me in the eye. Yeah.
And another question I had, it came back to me because I was thinking about it before I came to that too. As far as like being a priest, we know that the Levites were of the Levitical priesthood, right? And that those were the ones that the Most High ordained to be priests.
Right.
That's his inheritance.
Right.
So in today's time, why do we not still go and use Levites as priests versus having people from all tribes being priests?
Well, go to 1 Peter. I mean, think about it.
2:9.
Think about it. You know, what is it that we're trying to do? And it's funny that you asked that because this might go right into the class a little bit. But what was the goal that the Most High was trying to accomplish with Israel?
For us, taking care of each other. Basically.
Right. Unity, right?
Right.
Coming back as a nation. So that we all could get it. We all could understand. Because think about it. What was the main job of the priest? It was sacrifice. Offer the sacrifice, right? We don't do that now. Because why? Go to Romans 12 and verse 1. We don't have to do the blood with the animal, but what we do have to do as a nation is what?
Present our body.
Yeah. So go to Romans 12 and verse 1 and then you got it? The one in Peter?
Yeah.
Okay, go to Romans 12 verse 1.
Romans chapter 12 verse 1.
So the priest's duty, that's gone. That duty of sacrifice, go ahead.
Now I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of the Most High,
go ahead,
that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice.
See, now it's up to the nation, all the brothers, men, women, children. We're supposed to do what?
Present your bodies a living sacrifice.
Yeah, our bodies are now the sacrifice. So, for one, we don't have to have some consecrated Levites to offer up sacrifice. I don't need a Levite brother to come to me and say, listen, I'm going to sacrifice you. Because we're that living sacrifice. So that's one where that priesthood duty, of the thing that they were doing the most, which was sacrifice and sprinkling blood on this and burning incense here and doing that, we all can do that now. Because why? It's really about us. It's another thing where that understanding of the law, there had to be a representation back in the Old Testament. There had to be someone set out. But now, it's about us all coming back to the Most High. Right?
Come.
Did you finish that?
La.
Go ahead.
Holy and acceptable unto the Most High.
Go ahead.
Which is your reasonable service.
Right. See, this is our service. As men, women, this is the service. So, how do we know? Go to 1 Peter 2 and 9.
1 Peter chapter 2 verse 9.
Go ahead.
But ye are a chosen generation.
Go ahead.
A royal priesthood.
A what?
A royal priesthood.
Go ahead.
And holy nation.
A holy what?
Nation.
Yeah. It's about bringing the nation into all the ordinances and understanding the law and understanding the inner workings, but it's really about that spirit of the law. Because that carnal part of sacrifice and killing things, that's gone. So now what was it about? Not dying for the law, but now presenting it says a living sacrifice. You see that? You had your hand up?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And not only did they do the sacrifice, but when you read in the Old Testament that they also kept the things of the house of God.
Say that last part one more time.
I said they were still keeping other than the sacrifices. You know, they were still doing all the things of the church of God and keeping the house of God too. You see what I'm saying?
Check this out. Go to go to Hebrews 7. Read that.
7 and 14?
7 and 11.
7 and 11? Hebrews chapter 7 and verse 11. If therefore perfection were by the Levitical priesthood, under it the people received the law.
Right, because the people received the people received the law through the Levites, right? Go ahead. But it said if their perfection came through that, and it's going to explain, go ahead.
What further need was there that another priest should arise after the order of Melchizedek?
Right, so who was it talking about? Who came after the order of Melchizedek? Right. Watch. Jump to Hebrews 6 and verse 20.
Hebrews 6 and verse 20. Whether the forerunner is of, excuse me, that's forerunner, right?
Forerunner, yeah.
Whether the forerunner is for us, entereth even Yahushai, made an high priest.
Wait, Yahushai was made a what?
High priest.
Go ahead.
Forever, after the order of Melchizedek.
Jump to Hebrews 7 and 14.
Hebrews 7 and 14. For it is evident that our Lord sprang out of Judah, out of which tribe Moses spake nothing concerning priesthood.
See that? So, because what was Christ supposed to be? Well, but what did he represent? He represent that living sacrifice, Romans 12, right? He represented making your body a living sacrifice. But then he also represented the law, right? Because he knew the inner working, spirit, carnal. And what did he do? He taught. He taught the law. He brought the understanding of the law. See, what it's showing you when you jump back to verse 11, if the perfection were to come by the Levitical priesthood, we wouldn't need Christ. You see that? Because the Levites delivered the law, right? They gave the law. But what did Christ come to do? We read it back in Luke 24 and 45. It said he came to give the understanding of the law. But Christ came from what lineage? From what tribe? Came from Judah. So, you know, if it was about a specific tribe at this point, then Christ would have been a Levite. If it was about, the law has to come from Levi. Think about it. Paul was what?
Benjamin.
Paul was Benjamin. And he knew the law in and out. He was a lawyer, but he knew the law in and out. You see that? So it's just showing us that the whole nation was supposed to follow the footsteps of Christ. Become that living sacrifice. Everyone teach each other so that no one has to teach anyone. Because it's going to come to the point where, like the scriptures say in Jeremiah, no man shall teach his neighbor. Right? No one's going to teach anybody, or have to sacrifice, or do. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, you do have some schools where the Levites do, you know, I think it's, I forget what school it is, but the brothers that do like the Sabbath ceremony and things like that, they're Levites. So they kind of stick to that. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. But it's important for all of us to be able to minister to one another. And that's what it really was about. It was important for all of us to know the scriptures, for all of us to be able to teach each other. Not just the Levites saying, what if you ain't got a Levite around? What if there's, as far as we know, there's no Levites in this school. You see what I'm saying? So then, what if we were like, okay, only Levites can administer to the people, to the flock?
Oh, we being hurt.
Yeah, we'd be just sitting here. waiting for somebody to slide through the door. But that's why he came back in Peter and said that you're a nation of kings and priests, a royal priesthood. It's supposed to be a nation thing now. You see that? I think there was another one. Go to Revelation chapter 5 and Revelation chapter 1 verse 5.
Revelation chapter 1 verse 5.
Right.
And from Yahushua, who is the faithful witness and the first begotten of the dead.
Go ahead.
And the prince of the kings of the earth.
Go ahead.
Unto him that loved us
and
washed us from our sins.
Go ahead.
In his blood.
Read.
And hath made us kings and priests.
See that? Through Christ's sacrifice. He presented himself a living sacrifice and ultimately the last blood sacrifice. But through his sacrifice, he made the nation a nation of kings and priests. So now you know what it's saying, that now we're all accountable. Because it wasn't about me sinning. Back then, it was about, I'm going to commit a sin. I'm going to make sure I got my bull the first year. I'm going to give it to the priest. And the priest got to sacrifice, right? But what was it about now? I'm going to commit a sin, but I'm supposed to have that godly sorrow. You see that? It wasn't about sacrificing the animal. It was about my conscience. I'm supposed to repent, that godly repentance. Fast, pray, confess. It was all about now these spiritual things that we were supposed to be learning. So now we're all accountable. You see that? Go ahead.
Yeah, what do he give us now to determine who's kings and who are priests?
What does he give us now to determine who's kings and priests? Right. It's a good question. I mean, I would say the wisdom. I would think about it. Go to, I mean, we're, at some level, we're all going to be kings. It says the least should be as David. David was a king, you know, in that time to come. Are you going to have your governing body, so to speak? Yeah, that makes decisions on behalf of the people and things like that, but at a point, bro, we all gonna be kings. We all gonna live that life, you know? But how do I live like a king now? How do I free myself from peasanthood of the world? Through the knowledge. What's up?
I was gonna say
yeah. Through the knowledge. You know, the scriptures say you shall know the truth and the truth shall make you free. See, free from what? Free from the constraints of feeling like I am nothing. Right? Because like we read with Adam, what lifted Adam to this kingship? The wisdom lifted him from off the ground, out that peasant mind state, to that kingship. So we all got the opportunity to be kings. We all have the opportunity. It's just about, are we using the wisdom to elevate ourselves? Because that's what wisdom does. It says wisdom lifted up the head. Get that real quick. It says wisdom lifted up the head. Watch. I know you got it. I just want to hit it. Yeah, get that real quick. Ecclesiastes chapter 11 and verse 1. In the Apocrypha, right? Oh!
Good. Don't do that again.
You said what?
I said, don't want to do that again.
Mm-hmm. No, that never drew. Something else felt was that.
Oh.
Yeah. Read that. Ecclesiastes 11 and verse 1.
Ecclesiastes chapter 11 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
Wisdom lifted up the head.
It does what?
Lifted up the head.
Go ahead.
Of him that is of a low degree.
Read on.
And maketh him to sit among great men.
You see that? So wisdom, that's what determines the king. That determines your place. How much wisdom do I apply? It says a man shall be commended according to his wisdom. So guess what you do? First, you go from being a man to being a king. It just depends on the degree of wisdom that one chooses to entertain, indulge, and then apply. Right? Anything else? I know we got, man, we want to hit this class, right? I know we got some questions online, I'm sure. No? Well, let's get into it. Let's get into this class. Let's see here.
Oh yeah, I had one. Y'all supposed to get back to me.
What was it?
In Genesis, when I was talking about, when we were talking about the knowledge of good and evil.
Right.
What was the representation of the tree of life? If Satan represented the knowledge of good and evil, seeing that they was out in the garden, what was the Most High protected in the garden?
The tree of.
He wouldn't, you know what I'm saying, in the garden like that.
Right. I think we had hit it. Yeah, we hit it because we had hit, it's Revelations 22, right? Yeah, we had hit it. You said what was the tree of life, right?
Right.
What did it represent?
Remember he said he put a flaming sword
right
in each direction so they wouldn't go back into the garden to eat from the tree of life.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna hold that because we haven't finished that Genesis yet. So when we get in, when we complete that part 2 of that third chapter, it'll basically edify on the flaming swords, tree of life. But we did go into that tree of life. If you go to Revelations 22:1, and Kazak broke that down. I don't want to try to dive into it.
Like everybody in the end though, like you had the little leaf that you know what I'm saying.
Well, say that one more time.
That's when you talking about the leaf, right?
No, this was talking about. Watch. Read Revelations 22 and verse 2.
That's my favorite.
Revelations chapter 22, verse 2.
Read verse 20. Read verse 1. Slide.
Verse 1. And he showed me a pure river of water of life.
Right.
Clear as crystal. Proceeding out of the throne of the Most High and of the Lamb.
Where's the throne of the Most High?
Yeah.
In heaven, right? Go ahead.
Verse 2. In the midst of the street of it, and on either side of the river,
go ahead,
was there the tree of life.
You see that? So he hit this part about the tree of, this is where the tree of life. And what did it bear? Go ahead.
Which bare 12 manner of fruits.
Go ahead.
And yielding her fruit every month.
And so basically the way he was breaking it down and going into it, it was speaking about, and this word is not in the scriptures, but the zodiac. You know how they have the 12 representations for each month?
Right, I heard about that. Yeah, I was in here for that.
You were here, yeah. So,
but that's when I asked him about the representation of it, though. Like, what was the one that the Most High had protected from Adam and Eve in the garden?
This was it. The tree of life. Because there's only one tree of life, right?
Okay. Would you say this one was representing the Most High is in heaven? But we talk that the tree of life that we were referring to was here.
I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna let him deal with that. How about that? Because he brings it out. Obviously, he'll be able to break it down for you to understand it. So I'm gonna let Kazak deal with that one when he gets back. Again, when we go, I think when we finish up, you know, once we finish up that Genesis 3, it'll be a little bit more clear. I see what you're saying though, but I'll let him edify further on that, because that goes in very, very deep. Yeah. They asked a question about Shalom, what is the name for me to look up on Facebook for garments? It's Israel Wear on Facebook.
Okay. This is
Wait, where you at? Oh, what do you do if you marry a sister that is not in the truth and she wants you to be a part of her family holiday feast? Do you support for her and go to visit her family, unsure what to do? Go back to 1 Corinthians real quick, 11. You gotta understand. You gotta understand that the Most High made you the head. He made you the head of that woman. So, actually, go to not 1 Corinthians. Is it? It's you know what I want, where it talks about non-believing. 7.
7. 1 Corinthians 7.
Yeah. Go to 1 Corinthians 7. And read verse 12.
Come on. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 12.
Go ahead.
but to the rest speak I.
Go ahead.
Not the Lord. If any brother hath a wife that believeth not.
So if a brother has a wife that believes not, go ahead.
And she be pleased to dwell with him.
You know what that pleased to dwell with him means? It means that she's going to respect his belief. She's going to respect the fact that you don't celebrate Christmas. So she's not going to be trying to ask you to come over to celebrate Christmas with her family. You see that? She's going to be pleased to dwell with you knowing that you don't deal with that. So she's not going to be putting the pressure on you like, oh, it's just for the family. Let's do it for the kids. Right. She's not going to be doing that. She's pleased to dwell with you knowing that you stand for Christ. Go ahead.
And let him not put her away.
Right. Go ahead. Read on.
And the woman which hath an husband that believeth not, and if he be pleased to dwell with her, let her not leave him. For the unbelieving husband is sanctified by the wife.
Right, because if you're falling to her customs, where's the sanctification going to come in? There is none, because now you're just a part of the custom. Now you're just a part of what she does. The whole point was for the unbeliever to assimilate to what you do as an Israelite, not the other way around. So, you know, I know it's like a touchy situation, but it's not. Watch. Go to. We could go there, but go here real quick. Go to Psalms chapter 1, verse 1. I mean, I'm gonna just get right straight to the point. You know, because we've hit this a few times. I mean, I could dance with it, but what's the point? I mean, this brother been online with us a lot. He knows how we roll. The brother that's asking the question. So, you know that we're gonna give it to you through the scriptures. Read that, Psalms 1 and 1.
Psalms chapter 1 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly.
Go ahead.
Nor standeth in the way of sinners.
Go ahead.
Nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful.
You see that? Blessed is the man that does not walk in the way, deal with the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. So that's dealing with all these people that say, well, I'm going to celebrate my Christmas, my Easter, my this, my that. That's a sin. It's a sin to celebrate other gods or other high holy days, as opposed to the high holy days of the Most High. But it says, blessed is that man. So obviously, it's blessed is that man that doesn't do it. So if you go do it, then what? Cursed is that man. So you got to ask yourself, you want that curse? See, the curse is this. She begs you. She wears you down, and you're like, no. But she wears on you, she wears on you, and then you give in, and then guess what happens? You start giving in to everything that she requests. Right. Next thing you know, you write out the truth, and back in that Christian mind or whatever it was that you came from. You see that? So it's very important that you as a man, you as the man of the house, you as the head of your wife, you got to make that stand. You got to stand up and say, no, I'm not going to go do that. And this is what's going to happen if you go do that. It got to be like that. It got to be like that. But that pleased to dwell, that don't mean she's pleased to dwell, but she's still trying to prop up Christmas trees and trying to cook.
Got ham in the oven.
Yeah, turkeys and things like that. No, that pleased to dwell is that she still respects. Right. She respects your belief and doesn't try to sway you in any way, shape, or form.
It's like she may not understand right now, but she's willing to understand or try to understand.
Right. She's putting herself in a position to be sanctified, to be clean. You see that? But yeah, I mean, hopefully he gets that. You don't need to hit 1,000 scriptures on that too. And I got something else?
Just little things.
What you got? What you got?
Oh, I was gonna say Ecclesiastes chapter 6 and 1, because the way you bring it out, it says, instead of a friend, become not an enemy. Just in case, the way you talking to her, you just gotta come to her in a way where she'll still understand. Where okay, I'm still your husband, I'm still your man.
Right.
But these are not the things I want to do.
Right.
The Most High, he's laying down something different. And at least go to the scriptures and things like that to show like this is why. So, instead of a friend, become not an enemy. For thereby thou shalt inherit an ill name. Now she's gonna have her family talking about you, and or cousin Ray and all these different people sitting there you have an ill name to them because you sitting there, they're being disgruntled. Well, she's going to them in a different manner than the way that you're going to her. As in, instead of she dropping the scripture like, this is why. You're sitting there, you know, she's just going off her own mouth instead of her sitting there like, okay, this is the scriptures he's saying. So she could at least have the scriptures and say, this is why I'm not coming to that Christmas celebration of Thanksgiving and things like that. So.
Yeah, it's really about, you know, we have to really show our people why it's important not to, and we don't, it's funny, I like that question because it's going to go right into the class, and why it's important to unify with our customs and unify with what make us strong, and not unify with the things that divide us. Because even religion, even these holidays, think about it. You got one brother that believes that we should celebrate Passover, but then you got the wife that's like, no, I'm going to do Easter. It goes further down in the Corinthians. Finish reading that. Read verse 14, 7 and 14 in Corinthians.
7 verse 14.
Uh-huh.
It says, for the unbelieving husband is sanctified by the wife.
Go ahead.
And the unbelieving wife is sanctified by the husband.
Go ahead.
Else were your children unclean.
Yeah, now it comes to the children. Else your children will be unclean. They'd be confused. One is celebrating Passover, the other's doing Easter. Where's your children going to fall into here? What are they going to pick? More than likely, what happens is they go with mommy. Right? Because that's what the world says. They do what mommy do. But it's really about us reordering and reestablishing, again, our manhood through wisdom. You see that? Establishing our households through wisdom. You got to show her the logic in what she wants to celebrate. And it's not about family. I mean, think about it. It ain't about. If you worried about like what the family got to say, it really got nothing to do with your relationship. It's you and your wife. So you got to establish the wisdom in your household, you know, and not be forceful, but just say, hey, look, this is why I don't do this. The Bible, blah, blah, blah. She ain't trying to hear that. She might take a little while to come around, but if she's going to go do that, let her go do that. But you don't go do that because you know better. He that knoweth to do good and do it not, it is sin unto him. That's James 3:6. Yeah, so if you know better, like what they say in the world, if you know better, do better. Yeah, but yeah, you don't want to make yourself a part of that, because what's going to happen is if you can't do both. You can't say I'm a Hebrew Israelite, I believe, and then say, okay, I'm gonna go celebrate Christmas with you just to appease you. Because what are you doing? The scripture says, teach not thy wife an evil lesson against yourself. So now you're just showing her that you'll break to her. You don't want that, because then she'll think that you can she'll break you in every instance.
Gosh. Now
she'll be the one wearing the pants, right? That's why I said go to Jeremiah real quick. See, we've been hitting it. Go to Jeremiah. Go to Jeremiah 31:22. Go to Isaiah.
Come. Jeremiah chapter 31 and verse 22.
Uh-huh.
How long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter?
Yeah, see, you don't want to be the one that's backsliding by following these customs that we know we're not supposed to be dealing with in any instance. Go ahead.
For the Lord has created a new thing.
He did what?
Created a new thing.
He did what?
Created a new thing.
Go ahead.
In the earth.
Go ahead.
A woman shall compass a man.
And this is why the women compass men, because we don't stand up for what's right. We want to worry about, like, well, if I don't go with her, she ain't going to give me none. Just don't get none. But if you order the household right, you ain't got to worry about those things. And I get it. I understand where he's coming from. I understand where you're coming from with the question. Again, it's one of those touchy situations, but you got to stand up for what's right as a man that has the knowledge. Go to Isaiah 3 and verse 12. Hey, you got your hand up.
Yeah, I was thinking on that Ecclesiastes.
Which one?
25 and 23.
Uh-huh.
Beta the courage. Like,
yep.
if she's like putting that on him to make him feel guilty about not going, or make him feel bad that he don't want to participate in a wicked celebration,
mm-hmm.
then, you know, she falls into that that verse.
Yeah, because you said, do you support for her and go visit her family? Think about it. You can go visit her family at any time.
Good.
But you can't, the scriptures say, abstain from all appearances of evil. Again, you can't be this mighty Hebrew Israelite man and then celebrating the customs of the heathen.
Right. I remember my mom would have me try to go through it on Thanksgiving. Yes.
Yeah, just come
get some food. We got some leftover food. I was like, no, I'm good. I'm good. I'll see you in about 3 days.
Yeah, I'm not even eating the leftovers from y'all's feast.
Yeah.
Why? Because the scriptures talk about it. Right? Read where you at. And then we can go to Jeremiah 10.
Isaiah chapter 3, verse 12.
Go ahead.
As for my people, children are their oppressors.
What?
Children are their oppressors.
Go ahead.
And women rule over them.
Why? Why do women rule over us? Because we don't stand up for what's right.
Right.
We don't stand up for, the scriptures say, you do what's pleasing in the sight of the Most High, even your enemies will be at peace with you. So you got to bite that and say, you know what, I'm going to do what's right in the eyes of the Most High, because what's more important? Your ribs' feelings or the Most High's feelings? Who can curse you? Who can bless you?
Most High.
Your rib can't do that. So if you put things into that type of perspective, like, well, the butt whooping from the Most High is way worse than the chastisement from your rib's mouth. The little bit of talking that she's gonna do, the Most High set up something way worse. Who we trying to please? Our ribs, our family, her family, or the Most High? That's what we gotta ask ourselves in all these situations. I've been through that. When I was young in the truth, I was like, well, damn, it's only some turkey.
Right.
But then I had to understand that I can't be so gung-ho for something and then try to assimilate with what I'm gung-ho or assimilate with what I'm going up against. Right. In any way, because then it makes you look like you're tossed. It makes you look like you're hot or cold. What were you going to say?
I was going to ask you if you wanted to go to Lamentations 4 and 3, or is that going to go off to the top?
Lamentations? Go ahead, read it. What does it say?
Even the seed monsters draw out the breast. They give suck to their young ones. The daughter of my people is become cruel, like the ostriches in the wilderness.
No, you can leave that one out.
Yeah, I knew that's how I wanted
I feel you, brother.
Think about it. It's kind of cruel though, where she knows what if she knows what you stand for, and if she's plaguing on you to go, if she's like beating on you or beating you down to go do something against your will or against the will of the Most High.
Why is Thanksgiving bad?
Because Thanksgiving was the slaughter of the Native Americans, which are our brothers and sisters. Christopher Columbus came through, right? He gave them blankets with lice and different diseases, and then he killed them and then had a feast day. Think about it. The people at that feast weren't even there. The Native Americans were being killed. Then they had a feast. So Thanksgiving is Thanksgiving is bad. That's not plus when you go through the scriptures, Thanksgiving is not in the Bible. It's not one of the holidays that the Most High set up. It's a man-made holiday. Just like Easter, just like Christmas, just like New Year's, just like 4th of July, just like Black Friday, Thanksgiving, New Year's, I said that. What else? Halloween. What else? Ash Wednesday, Good Friday. What else? Valentine's Day. They all got wicked origins. You could go into the history of these holidays, and you'll see that it was something wicked that started this holiday. It was some type of demon worship, and then they try to put a good name on it and make it for the kids. Watch. That's why. Read Isaiah chapter 12, 3 and verse 12 one more time.
As for my people, children are their oppressors.
See, children are the black and Hispanic man's oppressor and woman. Why? Because when it comes to Halloween, it's like, oh, I don't celebrate. I just do it for the kids. Right. So you teaching your kids to celebrate demons? You see that? Oh, I don't celebrate Christmas. I just do it for the kids. So, oh, you lie to your kid and tell them a fat white man slides down the chimney and gives them presents that you actually worked hard for all year. You see that? So you just lie to your children. But that's why it says children are our oppressors, because we try to do things in the name of the kids, Thanksgiving, whatever it is, all these little whack holidays. Right. We try to do it in the name of the kids, but the scriptures told us that's a form of oppression. God. That little children that don't know nothing oppress you because you want to appease them and make them feel good. You go shop on Christmas, you break the bank, and then you broke for the rest of the year. Why? Because you went all out. Got the big old 30-foot tree, 1,000 Christmas gifts for one badass kid. Now you can't pay your rent on January the 1st.
Right.
Well, little Timmy is happy.
Right.
Right?
He ain't got no worries.
Little Timmy is good. He'll play with them toys homeless. You see what I'm saying? So we got to see it where these holidays, they weren't made for us. Think about it, man. The black man celebrates a holiday like every 2 months. We celebrate these nations' holiday. Think about how many demons you call to you while you're in this perpetual cycle of I can never get ahead. Because guess what they do on January 1st? You celebrate New Year's. And then 4 months later, or maybe, 2 months, you celebrate Black History Month, which is man-made. And they can celebrate that. That's the next month. Then, like, you got President's Day, which is the next month. Then you got Easter, which is the 4th month. And then by July, you got July 4th, right? Then by September, you got Labor Day, right? And then then by October, November, you got all these, they just keep you in this holiday demonic worship regimen. And then you like, damn, I can never get ahead. Yeah, because you got demons on you. What's up?
No, that's why those payday loans around the holidays, they make so much money. They kill it, you know, and then you can't recover.
You can't.
You know, and people are wondering like, man, I got to get all these gifts for my job. You know,
niggas be
family.
stressed.
I'm like, I can't do it.
Me, I'm like, you stupid. Right. You buying gifts for everybody? Like, where they say that at? Right. Where was that at? You got people running through the mall like, I'm so stressed out. I gotta get, like, no you don't. Right. Just stop celebrating the holiday. What's up?
That's why so many people commit suicide at the New Year's.
Hell yeah. Because why? They racked up that bill at Toys R Us, and now all the rent money's gone. They can't pay their card, they can't pay the things that matter. Because they get into Christmas what? I'm in the Christmas what?
Spirit.
Yeah, you got Christmas demons on you. That Christmas demon is telling you to drain your bank account on some dumb gifts.
Slide that card, cuz.
That Christmas demon is blinding you. So now when it's time for you to go pay your bills, damn, I'm in the negative. And I don't get paid till after the 1st. So guess what I gotta do? Like John said, I gotta hit the payday loan. But then I need a payday loan for the other payday loan, and they're just gonna be hitting my checks. So I'm already 3 months in the hole before the year even starts. Think about the food that people spend, the money they spend on food. Think about it. You mean to tell me I got to spend money on Christmas? Wait, on Thanksgiving, I got to come back right around and buy me a Christmas turkey?
You better hope nobody's birthdays in between the months.
Yeah, and then you got birthdays. Think about it. All these things that we don't celebrate. Think about why why our people are in this perpetual cycle of I can't get ahead. That's one of the reasons. They threw us holidays amongst many things. Right. Right? Where you about to go? You about to get?
I'm just coming out on this is a book, right?
You about to get filthy?
So, there's a lot of historical...
And before we finish that, hopefully I answered that brother's question on dealing with the holidays. I know we're about to go into a different little angle, but hopefully I answered your question, bro. If not, you already know. Respond and we'll get some more. Right. Go ahead.
Even with that, when it comes with the holidays, especially when it comes about Thanksgiving, everybody thinks about this is a time to where we come together. We thank God for everything that He's given us. We thank God for this blessing us with our family, the money that we have. But a lot of us don't understand what really happened back in history around Thanksgiving time, around why they say Thanksgiving with the pilgrims and we got the corn and sweet potatoes and we had a nice little outing. No. There's a book called The Brief Account of the Destruction of the Indies. So this book goes about how the Spaniards came to America and slaughtered the Indians, the Native Americans that lived here. So a lot of our people don't understand that when they celebrate Thanksgiving, you're also celebrating the slaughter of millions of people, but not just off of how, maybe like a gas, they threw a little cyanide in the air. No, these individuals were tortured. So I'm going to bring this out. This is page 10 of the island of Hispaniola. I'm going to hit a couple points just to... Yeah, I'm going to hit a couple points just to paint a picture to show you where our holidays and where these individuals that we go to their stores, we go to their payday loans, we go to their clothing stores and buy their stuff. These are the individuals that stole the land and that have the riches now in the world and that we go to.
Bring it on.
So this is page 10. All right. This says, It says, in the Isle Hispaniola, Spaniards first attempted the bloody slaughter and destruction of men first began. But I'm going to jump down. It says, which the Spaniards no sooner perceived, but they mounted on generous steeds, well equipped with lances and swords. So they're coming on the island fully equipped. They have all their gear to destroy. Think about it. You got the natives there that they were giving corn, listen, we have this for you to grow. Take some of this. I know y'all just came on a long trip. They were loving, kind people. This is what the Spaniards answered them back with.
And let me say this real quick. The island of Hispaniola, you know where that's at? That's Haiti, Dominican Republic. So it's one big island, but if you're looking at a map, west side is Haiti, east side is Dominican Republic. Okay, so the island of Hispaniola, you had like your Taino Indians and different native groups that were Israelites. They were on this island, and Columbus and his crew, they went to the island. Okay, and this is what they did to them. Go ahead.
All right, it says that women with children, but ripped up their bellies, torn them alive in pieces. They laid waggoners among themselves, wagers among themselves, who should with a sword at one blow cut or divide a man in two. So these individuals are over here massacring, but not just massacring, but doing torture, ripping babies out of their mother's bellies, slicing men with one slice of the sword. They were betting to see, listen, let me do it. Here, I'm going to give, maybe they roll some dice. Listen, I got this one. Slicing men in half. But if you go to the next page, it also says that they snatched young babies from the mother's breast and then dashed out the brains of those innocents against the rocks. It gets very detailed, but this is coming from Bartholomew de las Casas. And go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Yeah, and this is just an inkling of what the Spaniards and the individuals that came to America, where these customs come from. These are the things that they were doing to our people. Like he said, Dominican Republic, Haitians.
And then when they were done, they celebrated Thanksgiving.
Come on, Drew.
They put they said that the turkey represented the beheaded Indian. This cranberry sauce represents the blood. All these different things represented something that had to do with death. You see that? So we don't celebrate it because those people that were slaughtered, those hundreds of millions of natives, right? Those were our brothers and sisters.
Like, think about it. You don't have no Jewish people over there in Israel talk about, listen, if the Germans can't go to heaven, I ain't going. Who else we got? If let's say even Syria, listen, if Americans can't go to heaven, we ain't going. They're not saying that. Why? Because these individuals, they dealt wrongly against it. They're not for them. That's not their friends. It's called their enemies. And that's why the Jewish people have no love for those people that did it to them. And we shouldn't either. But you know what? We have the spirit of love in us. And that's why we have this loving spirit to even our enemies, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, and then back to the Thanksgiving. A lot of people don't know when you go through the history of it. Abraham, the reason they only have one now is because Abraham Lincoln made it to where it was just one, because they was doing this, it was ongoing. So every time they had a slaughter, they had a celebration. They called it Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So they were celebrating it all through the year, but he was like, "Hey, we can't do that. We can just do it one time."
Hey, y'all out of line.
And that's when they
That's when they made it the official holiday.
Official holiday, right?
Yeah. So Thanksgiving is just, they call it death. Like you listen to like a lot of rappers and like Nas. He said, "You call it Thanksgiving, I call your holiday Death Day." Because why? That day they commemorate the slaughter of our people. And then you know what's sad? They throw it in your face like, yeah, come celebrate with us. And then you know what our people do? Yay! You're right. Let's get a turkey, right? Let's get the cranberry sauce, right? Let's get the eggnog.
Dress up like Indians.
And then we literally just mock ourselves, right? We mock ourselves, and it's beautiful. I like it because it's going to go right into the class, right? We mock ourselves with these foolish holidays because why? We rather unify, and the class is about unity, right? We rather unify with everything else but the Most High. We rather unify with everything else but ourselves.
Right.
We rather join to these fake and phony holidays than to say, you know what? Let me find out what the Most High likes.
Right.
Let me celebrate the Most High's Passover. You rather dress like a damn whore than say, you know what? Let me put that dress on because it's pleasing to the Most High. Let me assimilate and gather it to the filth. It's like we love to. It's crazy, man. We gather and we like to join to pollution.
Right.
We like to join to pollution instead of saying, you know what? Let me join to the thing that's going to get me clean.
Right.
Why is that? Who knows why that is? Why do we join to the filth?
Because the filth, it doesn't hold you accountable for anything.
Okay, I wasn't even thinking that, but hell yeah, that's a great answer. There's no accountability when everybody's just dirty because we all dirty, right? I don't gotta do nothing. Just be like you. There's no accountability. What else? Why is it so easy for our people to join and unify with evil, with this world? What do you think, ABR?
Lack of self pride, lack of self pride because they don't see the value of being an Israelite or even knowing that they're Israelite, and so they want to cling on to something else. They want to find something that they see power over there. They see that something's going on over there. I want to make myself part of that.
Right. We don't see the value in ourselves. We don't know. We don't realize that we're valuable.
Con.
But why? I get it. After 400 years of, and that's just one slavery of just beatdowns, right? 400 years of beatdowns and getting everything stripped.
Come on.
Where is your self-worth going to be? Where is your, I got to be accountable for something going to be? The black man is just now holding himself accountable or just now being held accountable, right? The black man is just now realizing like, damn, we got to get up off our asses. We got to do something, but not individually. We got to do something together. Because why? That individualism was so prominent for so long with us, but where did it ever get us? When you look at Black Wall Street, that was unified, but it was still individualized. It was unified with a few people in one city, way out there in Oklahoma. Where was everybody else that was in the same mind, the same judgment with you? That's why it was so easy to take it down. Now think about this. Let's bring it to a household. If there's no unity in the household, why do you think it's so easy to topple it? There has to be. So you know we're bringing it out, showing that there got to be unity on all fronts. But what does the one thing that the enemy know about unity? What is the one thing that he knows about unity that the black man don't know? Power. What else?
I was gonna say something different.
No, what?
I was gonna say like the divide and conquer. Like they know.
Divide and conquer, right? What you got, Christian? You got anything? What does the enemy know about unity?
It was gonna be something on everybody want to be an individual,
right?
You know that you could find one that wants to try to reach up in the power, reach up in the ranks,
right?
You know?
Right. So that divide and conquer, that individuality, don't get you nowhere. Cause what? Why? I'm gonna steal his scripture real quick. Go to Psalms 83 real quick. The enemy knows one thing. That for them to rise up against us, what do they have to do?
Keep us in sin.
Pertaining to the class, what do they have to do? They gotta unify. The enemy has to unify, but guess what they tell you? Don't unify. Be all you can be. Be an individualite. Right?
And this class is called Operation Ununified.
Be an individual. Obey your thirst. Right? It's all about you and how you feel. That's what they tell you. But guess what? They'll tell you that, listen, we got to unify because we know that the blessing comes in unity. That the curse comes in what? Not being unified. It comes in individualism. You see that? And they tell us right here in Psalms. Watch. Read it. Go ahead. I'll let you read that.
Hey, listen. There's 4 or 5 brothers in here, man. Listen, I want some strong, powerful reading tonight. Act like Yahushai is behind the door listening. All right? Read for the brothers and sisters that's here on the camera, looking through all out America right now. This is a good topic, and we're going to read with some power. Khan? Read.
Psalms 83 and verse 1. Keep not thou silence, O God. Hold not thy peace.
No, sorry, verse 2.
2? For lo, thine enemies
Hold on. Thy who?
Thy enemies.
Read.
make a tumult.
Read.
And they that hate thee have lifted up their head.
Yeah, see, our enemies, they've made a plan, man. They've come together.
They did what?
They've made a plan.
No, you said they came together.
Oh, they came together.
Think about it. You can't make a plan, right, if you don't come together. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, the Confederate. Read.
They have taken crafty counsel.
They've done what?
Taking crafty counsel.
See, they've done crafty counsel. See, the black men, we don't counsel. And that's why we're in the position that we're in. That's why we're divided. That's why we're out here looking sick. In the scriptures it says you're wretched, pitiful, poor, blind, and naked. Read.
Against thy people.
Think about it. The scriptures say, do nothing without counsel.
God.
So what does that mean?
Every decision that you make, you should have counsel about it.
But think about how does one counsel? We got to come together. I got to call you. You got to call me. We got to both show up. We got to get the round table. The enemies, it said they took crafty what?
Counsel.
Yeah, how? Because they came together and said, look, this is what we're going to do. So they understand that unity is necessary. But then how come they tell you not to unify? How come they tell you to be the individual? Because they don't want you to grow. They don't want you to build. Why they tell sisters, oh, you don't need no man? Do you, boo? You the independent. Think about it. Think about it. With the feminist movement, they made every woman an independent woman. Where is there the strength in independence? Show me one strong, independent household. Show me. Show me one sister that's truly strong and independent. She ain't. She lacks somewhere because she needs that man. She needs that guidance. She needs that strength for her children. See, they lie, man. They tell you one thing. It's like, do as I do, not as I do. What is it? Do as I say, not as I do.
Right.
But they tell you it in a negative way. Yeah, we gonna make crafty counsel. We gonna counsel, but guess what? Y'all don't counsel. Y'all don't come together and talk about things. It ain't necessary. Make your own decisions. Do you. You're an individual. Be all you can be. What about let's all be as great as each other? What about you're no greater than the weakest link? What about that philosophy? They used to push that, but they're like, nah, let's cut that. You are who you are. The black man is the individual. And it's sad because when you look at brothers, you look at sisters, what do they come from in the world? They come from that lone wolf? Right. That lone wolf.
Solo dolo.
Yeah, I rose dolo from state to state mentality. Where I'm so used to doing things on my own, now that I'm required to communicate,
to exercise,
to come together, right, to rehearse the righteous acts. I don't know how to do that, dog. I'm not used to that. And now seeing that's the hindrance. That's one of the crafty counsels when they said, look, don't gather together. Be an individual. That's crafty counsel. Think about it. They reverse psychology to our people just on that basis. Something so basic. Think about how fun it is to come together with the homies and just kick it and talk. Think about how easy it is when you come together on a work project and you knock it out. But nah, you're going to do you. You're going to do you by yourself. Y'all understand that, right? What's up?
While back, next door neighbor was a police officer, and he had tipped me and Pops, my uncle. He said, hey, just to let y'all know what police are doing, if y'all are out in public in a group of 3 or more, then you can get stopped for conspiracy. Yeah, like y'all are conspiring something.
Conspiring to come together and have fun? But see, that's the thing, because now when the black man, think about it, a bunch of white boys can roll wherever the hell they want. A whole fraternity of white boys can just roll around and do whatever they want. But as soon as the black man walks around with a group of 3, what is it? A gang, a militia, they're conspiring to commit a crime. Right. We can't just be 3 niggas walking? Right. Like, I don't get it. So you mean to tell me I got 3 black dudes in the car, we automatically conspiring? Bro, we just trying to go get something to eat. Yeah, we conspiring because we hungry as hell. We try to figure out how to go get something to eat together. We trying to take advantage of the carpool lane. There's things like that where think about it, man. The white man can gather together and as many as he wants, and it's all good. But as soon as you do it, You a gang, a militia. You about to go riot, right? What's up?
I used to always say that they can go have a rave. Anybody know what a rave is?
Oh, yeah.
They have, I mean, it's big. You might see 1 or 2 cops.
Yeah.
But whenever we used to have stuff like the beach parties or
Yeah.
a block party, I mean, we got a policeman between at least 2 cars between every block.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because they don't want us to come together. And I'm in the truth. I understand why, because they know we come together for the good. They don't know if we praying or coming together,
or
you know,
fighting.
having fun.
Right.
Because only time they really just break it up is when we come together and they see we having a good time.
Yeah.
They like to make us disperse.
Yep.
But as long as we killing each other and stuff, you know what I'm saying, you get away with it.
Because they realize that when the black man comes together, things happen. And listen, if you in the right spirit, good things happen. But if it's a bunch of angry Negroes, some bad stuff is going to happen regardless, because no matter what, we're the strongest people on this earth.
God.
And then if you start stacking us up, bro, we like angry bees, bruh.
Good.
But think about how much good we can do too. Think about when the black man is in the right mind and we gather and we come together, how much good we do. That's really what they don't want to see.
Right.
The good that we can do. They don't want to see us build. Look at Black Wall Street, how successful it was. But imagine if there was 3 other or 4 other communities like that, with other things involved, a military, right, a police force, something.
Right.
And probably you'd still be going down.
Right.
But imagine if they had Christ involved. You wouldn't be at the top of that.
God.
Go ahead.
Yeah, finish that. We're still in it. Psalm chapter 8.
Psalm chapter 83, verse 2, second precept.
Read.
And they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
They that what?
Hate thee have lifted up the head.
See, because we are public enemy 1 in this earth right now. Because our enemies hate us. Read.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. And consulted against thy hidden ones.
Yeah, consulted against thy hidden ones. Read.
Think about why they hate us. They hate us because we got something that they can never have. The power, the grace, the wisdom and knowledge of the Most High.
Yeah.
They know that when 2 or 3 are gathered, what?
There is in the midst.
Christ is there. They know that. They know in the back of their mind, they're like, these niggas
Right.
God-fearing. If these 3 are standing there, Yahweh Shai is there. They know it.
That's why Pharaoh knew it. Pharaoh was like, man, these cats got the power of the Most High with them.
They know it.
Come on.
So that's why they hate us.
It's in their records.
But that's why they're like, listen, we don't want y'all gathering. 2 or 3 of y'all? Nah, bruh.
Yeah.
It needs to be 1 so we can pick you off. So we can think about the cats that's getting shot in the street. Ain't 2 and 3 brothers getting shot.
Right.
It's 1 man by himself getting picked off. Because when 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there I will be also. And they know that. They know that. They've known that through history. That's why it was always about weakening us from our power. Go ahead. Yeah, read on.
Verse 4. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
Yeah, that's exactly what they want to do. They want to cut us off from being a power, being a force in this world to be reckoned with. Read.
That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
And they've been trying to do that, man. But we're the Most Highest people, and they cannot knock us off this earth. So this is one of the things we have to understand, that our enemies is trying to cause discourse, confusion, and division in our people, in our households, in the camps, whatever that we do. Think about it. You was talking about you talked about Black Wall Street. I'm thinking about Black Panthers, right? My man Frederick Hampton. What was it?
Fred Hampton?
Fred Hampton. Listen, Fred Hampton. They started the whole welfare. They were giving food. They had a breakfast drive.
We're talking about Wick.
Yeah, Wick.
Yeah, Wick. Yeah.
They had the breakfast in the morning to where the kids can come and eat breakfast. Had a daycare. Had a school to where they can learn their history. They learned order. But you know what had to happen? The white man had to come through and destroy it, man. Our enemy had to come through and destroy that because they know who we are. With that, give me Exodus 19 and 5. Exodus chapter 19 and verse 5. This is Operation Ununified. We have to ask ourselves a question, man. Why do we always fight being together? Why do we always fight not being able to be there for our brethren? Why are we so easily ready to go home? Why are we so easily just ready to stay at home? Because we're under attack right now.
You know why? Because we've been hit so hard with it's better to be alone. Mm-hmm. It's better not to talk about your problems. It's better to deal with, like, you know what it is? I'm a grown-ass man, so I can deal with things myself. We've been hit with these terminologies and these sayings for so long that we believe it.
Yep.
You a grown-ass man? I'm a grown-ass man, dog. Don't talk to me about my house. I'm a grown-ass man, dog. I can raise my kids. I'm a grown-ass man, dog. I know how to deal with my wife. Do you? Do you? Because grown-ass men don't have as many problems as the black man is having. Grown-ass men ain't supposed to have as many issues as the black and Hispanic man has. Because why? Everything is dealt with on an individual, I can be by myself, I can do battle by myself basis. Think about it. I can do battle by myself.
Right.
I can do battle by myself. Of course you can.
Right.
Because now there's no counsel showing you that you're doing bad. There's no one to back that mind up. There's no, like the scriptures say, who will set scorches over my thoughts? Right. There is none of that when you say I'm going to be this individual. But who got the Exodus 19 and verse 5?
Exodus chapter 19, verse 5.
Go ahead.
Now therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed, and keep my covenant.
See, this is one thing that our enemy knows. That we have power through pleasing the Most High by keeping his covenant, keeping his laws and statutes, being able to communicate with each other, being able to be around and build each other, being able to iron that sharpeneth iron to sharpen more iron. That's what they understand. But that's why they have us in this discourse, in this division, and all these different issues that pop up. Read.
Then ye shall be a peculiar treasure.
You shall be a what?
A peculiar treasure.
They're hating on us because we're peculiar. Your melanated skin, that brain that's in your mind, that brain that's in your skull, is higher than the most. It says you're a peculiar treasure. Read.
Unto me above all people.
Above who?
Above all people.
That's why they're trying to cut you off. Because the Most High instills something in you. He instills something in all of us. We're not average individuals. We're not average individuals. But together we're a mighty nation. Read.
For all the earth is mine.
Read that second to last precept.
Then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people.
Some people.
All people.
Just North America.
All people.
Because we are. We are peculiar treasure unto the Most High. And that's why our enemies have had this operation ununified. Give me Ecclesiastes chapter 17 verse 17 in the Apocrypha.
Good.
That's why the Most High divided us from amongst the nations. He didn't want us to deal with them because we were on a different level. We were spiritually different. Or we were morally different. The nations had to learn from us. But you know now what's going on? We're learning from the nations. The nations have spoiled and ransacked our mind. We've allowed them to come into our households via TV, via music, via everything that we deal with. Read that.
Ecclesiastes chapter 17 and verse 17. For the divisions of the nations of the whole earth, he set a ruler over every people.
See, the Most High set a ruler over them, man. The Most High was not dealing with the nations. Listen, y'all do what y'all do, but my people, read.
But Israel is the Lord's portion.
See, Israel is the Most High's portion. The Most High gave us the laws and statutes. He told us how to be, which showed us how to deal with our families, our brothers, and our sisters. We didn't have that evil spirit, that lasciviousness, selfishness, murmuring, backbiting. That was never of us. Our enemies had that spirit. Read.
Who being his firstborn, he nourishes with discipline.
See, he nourished us with discipline. He gave us his laws and statutes. He didn't give the other nations that. Read.
And giving him the light of his love, does not forsake him.
See, the Most High gave us his wisdom. Read.
Therefore, all their works
jump back to verse 18 real quick. Watch this. Read on. Verse 18.
Ecclesiastes chapter 17 and verse 18.
Go ahead.
Who being his firstborn.
See, so Israel was the firstborn of the nations, right? The firstborn of the Most High, excuse me. Israel, the nation, right?
God.
Firstborn of the Most High. Go ahead.
He nourished it with discipline.
He did what?
Nourish it with discipline.
The scriptures say that the Most High chastises who he loves. If he don't chastise you, which he didn't do to the nations, you're a bastard. This is why they hated us. This is one of the reasons, because they saw that the Most High loved us. Go ahead and read on.
And giving him the light of his love.
He did what?
Giving him the light of his love.
Right, because that discipline was equal to that love. Go ahead.
Doth not forsake him.
Read.
Therefore, all their works are as the sun before him.
Right, so all the works of Israel were as the sun. Nothing could be hid. Go ahead.
And his eyes are continually upon their ways.
The Most High is looking at us. He's looking at us.
God.
The nations hate that. Right. Why you gotta look at them all the time? Let's get them out of here. Psalms 83. Go ahead and read on.
Verse 20. None of their unrighteous deeds are hid from him.
So none of our unrighteousness is hid from the Most High. This is what the nations don't get. They think it's all like something like, oh, he's only looking at y'all, but guess what? Our unrighteousness is not hid. So we get in check for that. Go ahead.
But all their sins
Go ahead.
are before the Most High.
Read on.
But the Most High being gracious.
This is why they hate us again. Right. Damn, after they do all this sin, Most High, God, Allah, Buddha, whatever the nations call him, after your firstborn begotten does all this sin, you got what? Read on.
Being gracious.
Being what?
Gracious.
Go ahead.
And knowing his workmanship.
Read on.
Neither left nor forsook them.
See, this is why they hate us. Read on.
But spared them.
You see that? Because while they're getting destroyed, the Most High is doing what?
Spared them.
He's sparing us. He's having grace and mercy on us. Y'all understand that the nations ain't got no grace, right? The grace is for Israel. So think about that. I'd be mad as hell too. I'd be like, man, how we get these dudes up out of here? How we cut these people off? How do we separate them from the Most High? Right. Let's make them individuals. Let's tell the black man that it's all about him and his family. Let's tell the black woman it ain't even about her man, it's just about her and her kids. Right. Let's tell the black man it ain't about his family, it's about a career. It's about being a sports player. The black woman, it's about her career, her two-seater, and her bags. She don't need to have no babies. She don't ever need to get married. It's all about her. How do we get the Most High to forsake them? It's right here. How do we get the Most High to look at us and pay attention to us? Well, let's get his firstborn out the way. Right. So we can inherit the promises.
That's what they think.
And it got close, right? It said that we stumble, but not that we should fall. But through our stumble, salvation came to who? To them. Right? But do we not have that back? Of course we do. You see that? So we didn't fall. They tried to get us to fall and cut us off. You see that? Where were you going to go next?
Go to Psalms 106 and 34. Psalms 106 and 34, because we're just understanding of why they have this agenda out against us. Why they want to put these selfish spirits, these self-loving lovers of themselves, why they're giving us these type of mental and psychological signals for us to basically move in that spirit. Psalms 106 and 34.
Psalms chapter 106 verse 34. They did not destroy the nations, concerning whom the Most High commanded them.
See, the Most High gave us some clear instructions on what to do. And what do? We disobeyed. But he had a reason behind us doing what we do. The Most High orchestrates everything. A lot of times we like to take things in our own hands, but like, no, I'm going to do it my way. Well, you should have did it the Most High's way because he already had a plan. He put you on this route, this path for a certain reason. And a lot of times we mess our own selves up because we don't do what the Most High wants us to do. Continue to read.
Because you know why? It's really about what do we want to cling to. If the Most High said, before we got into the land of Canaan, he said, go into the land of Canaan and destroy everything.
Done.
Right? Go into the land and destroy man, woman, child, beast. Don't keep nothing. And what do? We like, we can't do it, Most High. Yeah, we didn't. Nah, that's a different story. We didn't go in and wipe them out like we're supposed to. Why? Because of our lovingness, that kind-hearted nature we got. They took advantage of that. But what did it show? That we weren't willing to fully cling and unify with what the Most High wanted. We wanted to unify with our enemy because of what they showed us. So what happened? Read the scripture.
Verse 34.
You can jump down 35.
35. But were mingled among the heathen.
So instead of wiping them out and unifying with the Most High and what He wanted, we unified and mingled with the heathen. And what was the repercussion of that? Read on.
And learned their works.
We learned their works. So now, the black man's a homosexual.
Right.
When the white man used to be the homosexual.
Good.
Now, there's more black fags than anything. I see more black faggots running through the mall than I see white people. Men and women combined. I see more Judite homos, men, women, running through this damn mall than I see the other nations combined. We not only learned their works, we took over their wicked ass works.
Right.
Excel.
To the point where it's like, damn, we excel in evil. We better in wickedness than the nations. Think about it. This is what the Most High was trying to prevent for us. The fact that we grab things and we run with it. Think about it. 1 minute you don't see the black man playing tennis. Next minute, black people are the best at tennis. The black man don't play golf. The next minute, Tiger Woods is the best golfer. The black man was never playing basketball, and now the whole league is black. Every superstar is black. Football, same, everything baseball, everything they let us in and we put our hand to, we run with it. So think about how much more wickedness we run to when we don't use the wisdom. When we don't unify with the spirit of the Most High, we unify to that wicked. Right. And we run with it. That's why you think, look at Magic Johnson's son. Oh, man. Look at how much more flaming of faggots we are when we come out with that faggotry. Think about how much more flaming the black and Hispanic man is.
I'm turned up because we're peculiar. So you're going to be a peculiar gay man.
You're going to be peculiar in that wickedness. It's going to be more heightened and turned up. That's why you look at them like, damn, you got to be that gay?
Right. You got all that highlighter on.
Like, bro, you're too gay. You know what I'm saying? It's like, look, and I use that because it's easy to see.
Extra gay.
How we just do everything so extra. Think about it, though. When we in church, we praise the most. We be shucking and jiving and falling out and collapsing. We get resurrected right there on the spot. Right? The priest touch us, we collapse. And then he re-resurrects us, and we all into it. We all into that wickedness. But then you know what the sad part is? When it's like, listen, come here, sit here, show up 4 days a week, just learn who you are, get your rib right, get your house right. It's like, man, I can't do that. Right. I don't know about that because y'all got too much class going on. Wait. So we gotta do class, and we gotta street teach, flyers, drilling.
Morning class?
I can't do all that because I don't want to be unified in that mind. Right. I don't want to be unified in that spirit that's going to propel me to accomplish that goal. That's the problem. I want to be, but it's easier for me to unify with the pastor that touches me and I fall out. Right.
Yeah, because see, he don't require nothing of you.
Like Jeremiah said it earlier. Right? You're not held accountable. You're not held. You don't want to. The black man don't want to be held accountable. Right. Because now when I unify with you, guess what you got to do? You got to hold up your end of the bargain. Yeah. I'm going to come with a piece, you're going to come with a piece, and we're supposed to put it together. But if I come with my half and you come empty-handed, where's the hole going to be at? How are we going to put it together? We can't put together one piece of two. It don't come together. You see that? Where you at?
Verse 36.
You can hit that 35 again.
Psalms chapter 106, verse 35. But were mingled among the heathen. Right. And learned their works.
See, we've been mingled ever since. Welcome to America. We've been actually all the captivities, Assyrian captivity, Egyptian captivity. So we slowly but surely have unlearned our traits and characteristics of the Most High that He gave us to be a peculiar people. Give me 2 Timothy 3:2. Because this is what we've learned. We've learned their works, but we picked up their traits. And this is why we can't unify. Because we don't know how to unify.
Where we at?
Good.
2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 2.
2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 2.
Uh-huh.
For men shall be lovers of their own selves.
See, when you read in the scriptures, Old Testament, New Testament, these brothers, these patriarchs, these sisters, they were not lovers of themselves. They were lovers of the body. They were lovers of
their brothers.
Listen, their nation. Of being an Israelite. The sisters was washing the brothers' feet. The brothers was ministering to other brothers. Counseling. Listen, if you need some food, I got you.
You know what's crazy? I hope I didn't cut you off.
No, please.
You know what's crazy when you look at like Abraham, and you look at Abraham, his wife. Think about Abraham. All he had was a promise, right?
God.
All he had was a promise of a nation. But think about all he did.
God.
Think about how he unified his mind and joined his mind to the Spirit of the Most High. Right? Just off of a promise. Think about when Isaac, who went to go sacrifice their son? It was Abraham. Went to go sacrifice Isaac, right? Think about it. He had a promise that in Isaac would become a nation. But then he still said, you know what? I'm going to go sacrifice my son because why? I got to be united in the same mind and judgment as the Most High. And he went to go sacrifice his son, the only son he had, to bring forth a nation. He said, you know what? It ain't about me being an individual. It's about me unifying in the Spirit of the Most High. Think about that. All they had was a promise. But guess what? A lot of us got our children and our wives and other brothers right in front of us where you don't need that promise. It's already there. He didn't have brothers and all this in front of him. He had a promise. And he still joined his mind and unified to the Most High for the nation. Where you got your brother next to you, you can't sacrifice. You see what I'm saying? You got your brother, your sister, your rib, kids. You can't sacrifice your individual mind state to unify for what? The common goal, the common cause for the nation. The nation is already here. Think about it. We are the nation. What nation did Abraham have? But it was a promise. You see what I'm saying? It was a promise. We already have it. So it should be much more easier for us to say, damn, you're already here. Let's do it. But then we slip into that individualite, that individual mind of, I don't need to go through that. I don't need to do it with you. I can do it on my own. This is what I'm used to. But it don't help anything. Where you about to go?
I just got to bring something out, man. You brought Abraham out. Let's really understand the mind of Abraham and understand how he wasn't a lover of himself, how he wasn't a lover of the things that he could have held on to. This is in Josephus, all right? This is coming from Josephus chapter 13. And we're going to start at, it's going to be 13 and 1. Chapter 13 and 1. It says 222. We're going to jump a little bit. But it says, now Abraham greatly loved Isaac as being his only begotten and given to him at the borders of old age by the favor of God. So we understand that Abraham loved Isaac. It wasn't like that Abraham took just any kind of sacrifice or just took any son or any individual. He loved this person with all his heart. This is what it says. We're going to actually, we're going to jump down to 2, right to the subject. This is paragraph 2. It says, now Abraham, though that it was not right to disobey God in anything, but that he was obligated to serve him in every circumstance of his life. What this is saying is that Abraham, listen, it didn't matter where the Most High was going to take Abraham, what the Most High told Abraham to do, he was going to do it. That was the spirit of our forefathers. That wasn't the spirit of, read that again.
But what did that mean, though? That means he had to give up his individual. That means he had to give up his individual mind state. That I got plans. I'm gonna go over here to this land and do my thing. Most High was like, no, you're gonna go over here. What did he say? Come on. Right? Whatever plans he made for his life was ended. Because he had to unify in that spirit. He had to be joined to the Most High to bring forth what the Most High wanted. That's what we got to understand. That's the whole point. What are we trying to bring forth? You got to ask yourself that. What are you trying to bring forth? You trying to bring forth good fruit in the spirit of Yahweh, by Yahweh Shai?
Yeah.
Or you trying to bring out fruit in your way, in an individual manner? What is it about? And that's I like that you went to that, because it shows a good example of Abraham. Think about it. You think he had plans?
Oh, listen. Can I read?
Go ahead.
It says the child also. This is back in paragraph 1, second sentence. The child also endeared himself to his parents still more by the exercise of every virtue. Isaac was not just any average child. This individual, this child, exercises virtue in the spirit. Read this. I'm reading.
I'll read it for you. Where you at?
In the hearing.
Where at? And adhering to his duty to his parents.
See, read.
And being zealous in the worship of God.
See, this was a spiritual man. Isaac was a spiritual man. Read.
Abraham also placed his own happiness in this prospect, that when he should die, he should leave this, his son, in a safe and secure condition.
See, this is a prospect. This is somebody who Abraham had plans to give his inheritance to. Read.
Which accordingly he obtained by the will of the Most High.
See, he knew the Most High gave it to him. Read.
Who, being desirous to make an experiment of Abraham's religious disposition towards himself, appeared to him and enumerated all the blessings he had bestowed on him.
Yeah, you can jump down to paragraph 2 real quick.
Verse 2. Now Abraham thought that it was not right to disobey God in anything.
That is cold right there. Read that again.
Now Abraham thought it was not right to disobey God in anything.
See, Abraham wasn't a lover of himself. He wasn't covetous. If you read on in Timothy 3 and 2, he wasn't proud.
Read that.
Yeah, read 2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 2. Because we're understanding what we're learning from our enemy and what the spirit of our people were. All right? The spirit of our forefathers. The spirit that the Most High is trying to put in our bodies, put back in our mind frames, put back into our spirit. Read that.
2 Timothy chapter 3 verse 2. For men shall be lovers of their own selves.
See, Abraham was not a lover of his own self. Why?
He was, because Abraham thought it was not right to disobey God in anything.
He didn't think it was right. Read.
But that he was obligated to serve him in every circumstance of life.
He was obligated because he understood what the Most High gave him. He understood who he was.
Wow.
We are a peculiar people, a treasure. We have traits, attributes we didn't make up. We didn't create the things that's in us.
Wow. Can I read this?
Oh, please. That's why I had to get it.
It says, since all creatures that live enjoy their life by his providence.
Come on.
Y'all understand that? Abraham understood that the only way he was going to find joy in life is if he followed what the Most High wanted. That was the only rhetorical question. Why don't you have any joy in your life? I'm going to read on. Accordingly, he concealed
that's good right there.
and the kindness that he bestows on them. Right?
Nasty.
That's it? That's
no, keep reading.
Accordingly, he concealed this command of God.
Hold on, he did what?
Concealed this command of God.
Listen, that's how faithful and loving this individual was, that he concealed what the Most High told him to do.
Damn.
From who though?
From the Most High. And his own intentions about the slaughter of his son from his wife.
See, he didn't let his wife know, because he already knew what was going to happen. Oh, Abraham, don't do it. Curse the Most High and die. Don't do that. Don't kill our only begotten son.
Wow.
He gave it to you at an old age. The Most High wanted that. That ain't right. No, see, Abraham already knew that he had to do this. He wasn't a lover of himself. He wasn't covetousness to where he was like, no, I'm going to hold on to my son. This is the spirit of our people. But this is what the world is trying to undo from us, man. This is what the world is trying to undo here in this building right here, between the brothers and sisters. Listen, don't listen to that sister. She ain't got your back. Don't worry about her. She ain't nothing. No, that individual is somebody. Because it's all members of the body, as we're going to get to it in the rest of the scriptures. You can keep reading if you...
It says, as also from every one of his servants otherwise, he should have been hindered from his obedience to the Most High.
Come on.
You see that? So think about it. If we go back to that Timothy, if Abraham was a lover of himself and he adapted these traits from the nations, guess what would have happened? He'd have been like, sacrifice my son. What the hell are you talking about, bro?
Right.
The Most High wouldn't have been able to test his obedience. He wouldn't have been able to test his faithfulness. You talk a good one, let's see. Right? He wouldn't have. The Most High wouldn't have seen that Abraham was in the same mind and judgment as him. Y'all get that, right? Where we at in the scriptures?
You can go to Proverbs and finish that. 2 Timothy 3 and 2. Finish that.
2 Timothy chapter 3 verse 2.
Because these are the characteristics that we've picked up now, rather than having the attributes like Abraham. Read.
For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous,
read,
boasters,
read,
proud.
See, that's what we are, man. Boasters, proud. Proud of what? You in the slums. You in the barrios. You can't even connect with your mom and dad. Can't even talk to them on the phone. Not even that. Now you got the faith. Now you got the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Now you can't give yourself to the Most High that gave you that. These are the characteristics that we have taken from these heathens, man. Read.
Blasphemers. Disobedient to parents.
Disobedient to teachers. Those that oversee you. Those that give you the knowledge. Read.
Unthankful.
Come on. Read.
Unholy.
Read.
Without natural affection.
That's what we are, man. We are emotionalists. What I said, emotional. Yeah, we're emotional and we have no emotions.
Oh, emotional.
Like
emotionless.
You just want to turn dead. That don't bother me. Man, please.
Yeah, you're emotional in the wrong time and emotionless in the wrong time.
Right.
Like, when you should be emotional, you're not. And when you should be emotionless, you're not. People are confused, man.
Read.
Truth breakers.
Listen, y'all need to highlight these, man, because these are characteristics that we should not have. These are things that should not be in us. But this is part of the operation ununified. This is what they want to bestow upon us. If you read some of these words and you got these issues and characteristics, know that that is not of the Most High. And that's why we're trying to purify ourselves. But the only way we can do that is to unify, is to sharpen each other up via this Bible.
And if you have these characteristics, the only way to get them out is to do what? It's to unify. Iron sharpeneth iron. Right?
Come on.
Bear the burden, bear ye each other's burdens. Right?
Come on.
The strong shall bear the infirmities of the weak. How? If I'm not around. If I'm strong and I can't, how am I going to bear your infirmities if I'm not around? If you're weak, how can I bear your infirmities if you ain't around? That's the thing. One of the reasons why we don't unify, because a lot of us have these things in us, but you know what we do? We try to run and hide. We try to run and say, well, I know I got some type of schism in me, but I don't want it to be brought out so I can be healed. I don't want it to be dealt with. I don't want it to be magnified. You see that? And that's not good. It says confess your faults one to another so that you may be what?
Healed.
That's where the healing comes from. The healing comes from the unification. But think about it. Again, another rhetorical question. Why do you think you ain't getting healed from your problems? Why do you think there's so much stress and anguish and torment mentally? I'm not giving myself that chance to heal. I'm not coming around what heals me. Instead, I'm really ducking and staying in my corner and thinking it's about me or my family or just what I want or being in that mind state. I'm keeping myself in that. It's like a wound that never heals. It just stays infected. A wound that don't heal, but a wound that don't heal is usually just infected. So I'm not getting that infection out so that my wounds can heal, so that my mind can heal.
It ain't cleaning from the inside. That's really because a wound cleans from the inside, right?
Yeah, but if that infection is in there, what's happening?
It ain't getting healed.
It ain't getting healed. Why? Because I keep putting the wrong things on it. I keep putting individuality on it where it needs unity.
Right.
It needs somebody there to show me like, oh no, that's infected, bro. Let me cut that infection out. Let me dress it.
Right.
And then we gonna come back. But it's like, no, I got it. I'm a tough guy.
Right.
I can do it myself. You get that cut in your back, and you're like, I got it.
Right.
How?
You can't reach it.
You can't reach it. You can barely scratch your own back.
Right.
Let somebody get that for you. But that's the black man, that's the Hispanic man. It's like, no, I'm good.
Right.
That's our favorite thing. I'm good. Now, I'm good means like a million different things now. It don't just mean I'm good. It means I'm good, I got it, I don't need no more. It got all these different meanings to it because I'm good is our 2 words.
Like I need you to dig a little bit more so I can tell you what's going on.
Yeah, you good and I'm good. That's all we talk.
Right.
I'm good.
I bet that.
You see that? So we gotta step about that mentality that it's just about us, the way we feel, that individual, and see the properties and the benefit of unity. It's on all levels, from the smallest, from the children, all the way up. Think about it. Think about how much gets done in unity. Y'all understand? Go ahead.
Give me Psalms 44 and 20, just with that. Psalms 44 and 20. We got a couple minutes left, so we're going to try to roll through them. Loud and proud.
Psalms chapter 44, verse 20.
Read.
If we have forgotten the name of our God, or stretched out our hands to a strange God.
See, and that's what's going on. We've forgotten the name of the Most High. We've forgotten where our power comes from. We've forgotten how we used to unify. But now we're starting to stretch out to other strangers, man, strange gods. We got faith in what Uncle Bobo said. Listen, we care what Auntie Angelica told us. Angelica. What do you call it? What do you call those that go to the little witch doctors in Mexico?
Bruja.
Huh? Brujas. We going out there to ask for how do we get help. No, it's the Most High. The Most High is the only way that we can get help in unifying and healing our body. Because at the end of the day, listen, this is what the Israelites want, man. The Israelites want salvation, but they don't want to actually work for salvation. Because it's going to take work. It takes unity. But the enemy is trying to destroy them. We have to recognize that. Give me Proverbs 1 and verse 15.
Wait, before you go there, read that one more time.
Psalms chapter 44, verse
20.
Verse 20.
Go ahead.
If we have forgotten the name of our God.
Think about it. Why did we forget the name of the Most High? Why don't we know it now? Because everybody wants to say, I got the name. No, we got it over here. Y'all are wrong. No, right. We got it over here. Y'all are wrong because we're the individuals that know. Because the truth is over here, right? Only we got the name. No, it's Ahia. No, it's Yahweh. No, it's Yeshua. No, it's this. Because guess what? Everybody's on this individual mind state that they got it. The scriptures say the Most High is omnipotent. Right. You don't know his damn name. You don't know the real name.
Right. So just because I don't know your name, I'm not your brother anymore.
Or because you call him Yahweh and I call him Yahweh, you call him Ahia. Guess what? I can't mess with you.
Yeah, I'm your enemy now.
I'm your enemy. There it is. There goes that crafty counsel. There goes that, let's get them to break the unity. Because think about it. There was unity in Israel. If you want to deal with these camps, because there was one school, right? But when everybody start coming with their madness, oh, you can rape this and sleep with this and not do this and masturbate this, right? Then what happened? It's like, no, that's wrong. No, you're wrong. No, you're wrong. No, you're wrong. No, you're wrong. I guess we all wrong. Here goes that individual. How do we break up even the ones that know better? Right. We throw division into doctrine. Y'all see that? So then now everybody's going and doing different things. No, I'm going to dunk you in water. Oh, well, you don't need the water. Well, guess what? You need the water. Oh, we can invite this nation because all the nations can be saved. But the Bible says they can't. But you're wrong. You see? Then the people looking in that want to get right, they're like, I don't know what to believe. I don't know where to go. I don't know who got the word. So guess what they do? They become children tossed to and fro. Because they're like, well, now I can go here because they teach something different than what you teach. I don't like what you teach. Right. I'm going to go over here because they cater to me. They wear the all white. They talk to me smoothly, softly. They dunk me in the bath once a month, however often. Right? But guess what? Nah, I don't like that no more. I need something a little harder. So I need to go to the guys that wear all black and yell at people. Right? Nah, that's too hard. Guess what? I need to go to the guys in purple because they're a mixture of both. You see how that, but what is that person? Tossed to and fro with every wind of doctrine. You see how being ununified destroys our people? Read on.
Verse 21.
Uh-huh. Did you finish verse 20?
Yes.
Go ahead. Okay.
Shall not the Most High search this out?
No, that's it.
Yeah, give me Proverbs 1 and 15.
Okay. Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 15.
Yeah, give me that. Go ahead.
My son, walk not thou in the way with them. Refrain thy foot from their path.
Yeah, listen, don't walk how the heathens and these wicked individuals walk. With no counsel, with no guidance, alone. Like I said, it's woe to him that's left alone. Don't walk like them. Read.
For their feet run to evil. And make haste to shed blood.
See, that's what we're learning, man. Listen, we're not learning righteousness no more. We're learning wickedness. We're learning how to roll a blunt 15,000 ways. I can shoot heroin now on my toenails so you can't see the marks.
Oh yeah, shoot it up in the toenail.
Yeah. I can pop a Lord tab and have an abortion. You ain't even know.
We're wise to do evil, man.
Wise to do evil. But when it comes to do good for your brethren, we don't know. You know how to get into a vehicle that ain't yours, but you can't even give counsel to your sister, to your brother that's hurting. This is Operation Ununified. This world has given us wicked attributes and characteristics on how to live, but the Most High is telling us don't go that way. It wasn't meant for you.
Go to Isaiah 59 and verse 7. Isaiah 59 and verse 7. Just to edify more on that point. So their feet run to evil and they make haste to shed blood. Watch. This is what our people unify with. This is what our people love to join themselves to. Who got that? I'll be honest.
Isaiah chapter 59 verse 7.
Go ahead.
Their feet run to evil.
Go ahead.
And they make haste to shed innocent blood.
Read on.
Their thoughts are thoughts of iniquity.
Yeah, you ain't thinking about how do I build my nation? How do I get my kids and my wife right? How do I help the brother next to me? Right. It says their thoughts are what?
Thoughts of iniquity.
Go ahead.
Wasting and destruction are in their path.
Yeah, you see that? That's the mind of an ununified brother, ununified sister, ununified nation. Your thoughts are thoughts of destruction. How do I get high? How do I pop it, flip it, and stick it?
Right.
That's your thoughts. Let me stick my Peter in every little hole. Let me get high, wake and bake. Right? You're thinking about, let me hit the bottle. I got to get the bottle of Henny, that bottle of Crown. It ain't about how do I build myself. It's about how do I destroy myself. Right. Think about the black and Hispanic man. Everything they do is destruction. Everything the black man puts his hand to these days, it used to turn to gold. Now it just burns up because them works are getting tried. Go ahead, read on.
The way of peace they know not.
You see that? Because what does unity bring? Unity brings peace in your household, right? Unity brings peace in a nation. When it says what? Read it again.
The way of peace they know not.
Go ahead.
And there is no judgment in their goings.
Yeah, now you just misjudge everything. Now you look at everything the wrong way because now you're confused. Read on.
They have made them crooked paths.
Now the paths are crooked because we can't unify on which way to go. So I'm going to just make my own path. I'm going to just do my own thing.
I'm going to blaze my own trail.
I'm going to be a trailblazer, right? That's a damn rogue agent. Now you're just a rogue, rebellious agent. Go ahead.
Whosoever goeth therein shall not know peace.
Think about it. Every time you go around a black man, it ain't a peaceful situation.
Sorry.
No matter who, no matter what the black man tries to put his hand to, what happens? It's always some damn killing, shooting, fighting, hostility, murmuring, backbiting, tail-bearing. It's never a peaceful moment in the black and Hispanic man's household. It's never a peaceful moment with these couples because our judgment, the way we judge things is off. We ain't looking to build, but we're always breaking each other down.
All right.
Read on.
Therefore is judgment far from us.
Go ahead.
Neither do justice overtake us.
Neither do justice overtake us. Now you understand why there's no justice for the black man. Right. Why? Because you think it's okay to kill. They saying free this person that's a murderer. Think about it. The black man is always like free Meek Mill, free Lil Wayne. You want to free niggas that's committing crimes?
Right.
But then you want to join to the white man. Think about it.
You better unfreeze your bank account.
Read on.
We wait for light.
We do what?
Wait for light.
Yeah, we've been waiting for the light. It's here though. We've been waiting for the light. The light's here. You better get unified. Go ahead.
But behold obscurity.
But see, since you're not unified in the same mind judgment, your vision's obscure. You can't see clear. Read on.
For brightness, but we walk in darkness.
You see that? Go ahead.
We grope for the wall like the blind.
Yeah, now it's just a bunch of unified and wicked brothers groping around like blind men. Right. How the blind gonna lead the blind? It don't make sense. You gotta come to the light. Read on.
And we grope as if we had no eyes.
Damn. Think about that, man. Look at the condition of our people. Look at the condition of, bro, I was watching Cardi B at Coachella. It popped up on my Instagram.
Oh, I didn't get
this chick was twerking pregnant.
I didn't get a press play on that.
This chick was twerking, it was on Facebook. Somebody said, and they captioned it perfect. They were like, Cardi B is going to be a great mom. This chick was literally on the floor like, word. I was like, ew. It just looked disgusting.
Right.
Listen, I love pregnant women. I love the fact that they're doing that. You know, their bellies, all that. The glow.
Right.
I was like, wow, this chick needs to jump into a dumpster.
Dang, with alligators.
It looks so bad. It looks so bad, and then when you read this scripture, it's like, that's our people. Somebody was dumb enough to put a seed in that. The scriptures say when you find a good possession, you lay your seed in good ground.
Done.
That chick been used up. She's like that cucumber field. Dang. Like that house with the cucumbers. It talks about it in Isaiah. Everything that hit that grass is not fertile. That land ain't fertile. Why? Because ain't no wisdom coming out of that.
Storehouse of cucumbers.
She's like some blind dude impregnated a blind chick. Then they gonna have a blind ass baby. Blind to the wisdom, blind to anything. It's this scripture right here. Because why? We so quick to unify with filth and destruction. Instead of saying, man, I know I'm not the best or the sharpest cookie in the drawer, but at least let me find somebody that can help me. But no, I'm gonna just go run to the same dumb nigga that I am. Come on, we gotta do better. Read on.
We stumble at noonday, as at night, as in the night.
Go ahead.
We are in desolation.
We are in desolate places.
Desolate places.
Read.
As dead men.
As what?
Dead men.
Now you see why our nation is a dead nation. We waking up though. Ezekiel, right? Dry bones. We waking up, but it's taking too long. Cause we so caught up in let me unify. Niggas be more unified with Cadillac than they will with the Most High. You ain't never met the owner of Cadillac. You ain't never met the owner of damn Porsche. You ain't never met the cat that made Ducati.
Right,
Corvette, but you rather unify to that and praise that and give your all to that. You ain't never met Louis Vuitton.
Right.
You ain't never met Versace. You want to unify to a damn dead homo. I got my Versace. He's a dead faggot.
Killed by his gay lover.
You want to unify to that, but not to your brothers that's doing something valuable for the Most High.
Right.
And we got to get out that mind. Your rib will rather unify with her job and the people at her work instead of unify with your husband. The kids, they unify with whatever comes their way because the parents are trying to unify with them. We got to see it. It goes across the board. Y'all understand?
I want y'all to write this word down. The saying is illusion of inclusion. And that's what's going on. Our people are dealing with the illusion of thinking that this is what they are. This is what it is. But what it really is that you're destroying your life and your family and your nation with your selfishness. Now the definition of illusion, it says this: deceptive appearance, false show, by which a person is or may be deceived or his expectations disappointed, mockery. So illusion is a deceptive appearance. Now when it says inclusion, it says the act of including. So basically you're involving yourself in something that is very deceptive, a false show, and mockery. Our people are mocking themselves. Our people are psychotically in a deceptive mind frame when they deal with America. And that's what America has bestowed upon them.
Well, our people are being deceived into thinking that you're part of the American dream.
Right.
That's the thing. You are part of the American dream. You know how?
God.
You the nigga that's gonna build the dreams. Right. If you build it, they will come. Nah, it's really if you get a black man to build it, then you got it. See, you've been duped to think that if I join to this society, that I'm gonna be something.
Yeah, that's like even with the Issacharites, man. Northern Kingdom, all them. Oh, heck that.
Yeah.
Let's build the U.S., man. They don't care about you. That's why they deporting you ASAP. You sitting over there by Chick-fil-A on Bel Air
trying to get a job.
Trying to get a job. They don't care about you. You can't even go to work. You can't even go to unemployment.
But guess what? You done built this nation.
Right.
And then what's sad is you ask an Issacharite, what are you, Mexican? No, I'm not Mexican.
I'm American.
I'm American, or I'm Chicano, or I'm Hispanic. Like, what the hell are you talking about?
Stop it.
They don't even want to adopt the current situation. They want to disannul like, oh, I'm American.
Right.
No, I'm not. I'm Hispanic from Texas.
Yeah, you done made it to America, so you think you done made it.
I'm a Hispanic from Texas, really?
Right.
Like, come on, man. Our people got to wake up. We got to see it. Go ahead.
Give me Matthew 12:25 with that. Because America, listen, we're giving ourselves to America. Like I said, we're unifying with our jobs. We're unifying ourselves with these vehicles and think that this really means something. That don't mean nothing. What really means something is like Abraham did. He found it wrong to be disobedient to the Most High. Do y'all think about that? Dang, you know what? I was supposed to do this for the school, but I didn't do it. Dang. Are you thinking that? Or you're like, nah, I'll just do it next time. I ain't worried about it.
Yep.
Because why? You so unified with something else that your mind can't even conceive of what the Most High is trying to bring you to. What he's trying to bring Israel to, man. Read that.
Matthew chapter 12, verse 25.
See, but this is what this nation, this wicked nation that we live in, this is what they know. This is the program and the what they're trying to bestow upon our people. This is what they're trying to do. Read that.
And Yahushua knew their thoughts.
See, he knew our thoughts. He knew what we was thinking about. He knew the thoughts of the wicked as well. Read.
And said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself.
Read that again.
Every kingdom divided against itself.
Read.
Is brought to desolation.
See, every kingdom that is divided in itself is brought to desolation. That's what he's done to the Hispanics, Native Americans, and blacks. We can't even look at each other in the eye. We look at each other's shoes and belts and jeans and boxer breeches. We can't even look at each other. Because the white man has spanked us so hard, has ununified us so much, that we think that we're each other's enemies, man. Even here in this school. The small things, we think that we're each other's enemies. But in actuality, we're here for each other. We're trying to learn the way of the Most High. But the enemy has just sharded on our brain so much, has defiled our brain to where we can't even see what the Most High is trying to do. We think the man with the Bible, like when you go back to 2 Timothy 3:2, it said oh man.
False accusers?
Nah, it says, go back to 2 Timothy 3:2 real quick. Hold that.
Somebody says, for men shall be lovers of their own selves.
Let's further down.
Covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good.
There it is. Despisers of those that are good. Listen, we talking down on people that do work, that have been doing the ministry. This is the mind game. This is the psychological warfare that our enemy is doing on us, man. We're ragging on people online.
This is that illusion of inclusion.
Illusion of inclusion.
Because now I feel like I'm with you, I can talk bad about them.
Right.
But you ain't really with them. They just bamboozled you into thinking that. America bamboozled you into thinking that you're with them. Because when it comes down to it, they don't give a damn about the black man, the Hispanic man, Native American. They don't care. They don't care about us. If they did, they wouldn't have us in ghettos and slums. And then they blame you for being in the ghetto. Think about it.
Right.
They blame you for the condition that they put you in. How the hell can you be a part of them? They blame you. So there it is. The bamboozlement, man. We gotta wake up. Go ahead.
Finish reading that.
And every city or house divided against itself shall not stand.
Yeah, that's what they're trying to do, man. They're trying to have us not stand. They're trying to have us not come back to the godlike status that we were in. This is what we're trying to get back to. This is what we're fighting for. We're fighting for unity. Give me 1 Corinthians chapter 1 and 10. 1 Corinthians 1 and 10. Zephaniah 2 and 1. I need these real quick.
1 Corinthians chapter 1. You said 1 and 10?
Yeah.
1 and 10 and Zephaniah 2 and 1.
Verse 1 and chapter 1, verse 10.
Read.
Now I beseech you, brethren, by the name of our Lord Yahushua HaMashiach, that ye all speak the same thing.
See, the Most High wants us to be on the same accord. Read.
And that there be no divisions among you.
That there be no what?
Divisions among you.
Read.
But that ye be perfectly joined together.
See, and that's why the Most High put us in the same avenue, the same arena. The Most High put us here to learn how to get along with each other, to learn these scriptures. Just like Yahushua had to come down and give the understanding, we are doing the same thing to our brothers and sisters, man, so that they can come in a unified mind. Not individually, as a group. This walk is not for individuals. It is for, it says, seek out your own soul salvation. Kind. But at the end of the day, give me Zephaniah 2 and 1.
Zephaniah 2 and verse 1. Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired.
Oh, single person not desired.
O nation not desired.
Oh, lonely man not desired.
O nation not desired.
I'm a lone wolf man not desired.
O nation not desired.
It says a group, a body of people. O nation not desired. We got to come back and burn off these bad attributes that we have, that we've learned from these nations, that we learned from our enemy, and put back on the example that Abraham had. Abraham would do anything for the Most High. And that meant what? To give up his son. What are we giving up? We're giving up some things that we may thought that was right. Listen, we're going to go through these scriptures, and let's break these scriptures down and get the complete understanding. I had a assumption about something, but brother, listen, I know the Most High brought me here. Listen, let's go through the scriptures like men, and let's see what it says. That's what the Most High wants us to do. But you know what? Then the world, they don't think like that, man. The definition of hive mind. Write that down. This is another word that you need to know. Hive mind. Because the Most High is trying to get us into this mind. This is the same thing that our ancestors was rolling in when they was defeating other nations in battles. And we're going to go through a couple examples. We only got a couple minutes left, but we're going to run through them. Hive mind. A situation in which people all have similar thoughts. And it says similar. It don't say all exact thoughts. It says similar thoughts. So what does that mean? That we can build upon that. See, what this world is showing you, if it's one attribute, oh, I can't deal with it. Oh, y'all believe in Christ was born of a virgin. Oh, I can't deal with that. But listen, go through. Listen, if that's the school that the Most High gave you to go through, talk with them brothers, man. Communicate. Hive mind. I'm gonna continue with this definition. It says, it seems that their minds are working together like one single mind. The idea of a hive mind comes from insects such as bees. It's crazy how we can see we can see in nature how nature should actually run. Because it's pure. It hasn't been tainted. It hasn't been defiled. Let's go to the psychological and sociological definition of hive mind. A collective consciousness, what is that? Analogous to the behavior of social insects, we go to people, in which a group of people become aware of their commonality and think and act as a community.
Damn, think about that. What does the black and Hispanic man have in common?
We're in the same situation.
The world hates us.
God.
When it says a collective consciousness in which a group of people become aware of their commonality. The black man ain't aware of his commonality. He's not aware of his common enemy. The black man thinks it's all about shoes. Some of us ain't aware of what's going on. It's like, nope, I gotta get them J's. I gotta hit the club. Gotta get a bottle. I gotta bag women. Gotta make sure my rims are shiny. Gotta make sure that, you know, the beats is beating. we're not aware of what's going on. I had somebody, man, I was talking to somebody in the mall. I almost wanted to uppercut this dude because he was talking about something, and I'm like, he was like making a joke about something. I'm like, bro, you know somebody just got shot. A black man just got shot in what was it, Minneapolis? No, where was it? The boy that got shot with his daughter, Seattle, in the backyard.
Oh yeah.
Where was it? Sacramento.
Sacramento.
Sacramento. That's what it was. But then there was another one that happened in New York right after it. He was like, really? I'm like, the hell you been? Like, I don't watch no news. I don't watch. I'm the non-news watching this person ever, and I knew that. Like, how are you unaware of what's going on? And then I'm breaking down the statistics. He's like, really? I'm like, wow, bro, you ain't been around for all them killings that was happening. There was like 1 a month, 2 a month. Sandra Bland, Eric Gardner, Philando Castile, like it was just happening every other day. Mike Brown, like, I'm like, what rock you been under?
Right.
But why? Because he's more unified on video games. He's more unified in the Xbox group party, right? He's more unified in the car club, in the sneaker club, than what's going on with the condition of his people.
Right.
Sports. We unify more than that. ESPN, damn award shows. Niggas go unify to go watch some foolishness on TV. Like, let's get together and watch the game.
Right.
How about we get together and study? As soon as you say that, it's like, oh, I can't make it today, dog. My pit bulls is having puppies. I didn't know you had a dog. You know, just be. I use that. It just be excuses, man. It'd be excuses not to do the right thing for the right reasons, but we'll gather for foolishness.
Right.
But it's really about we're not aware either. Think about it, man. You ever talk to somebody that don't know what's going on in these streets? It's like, damn, you can be taken at any moment. And you're not aware of that? I'm always aware now of when I move and who's behind me, in front of me. You gotta be. Who I'm with, you have to be. But go ahead.
Give me Genesis 14:14. This is an example of unity. Example of unity, what unity can do. And this is the power that they're trying to take away from us. We're kind of running through it, but we're going to hit the last couple more scriptures. Couple more scriptures. Genesis 14:14. Read it loud and proud.
And when Abraham heard that his brother was taken captive.
Talking about Lot. Read.
He armed his trained servants.
No, he armed himself.
His trained servants.
He armed his sister.
His trained servants.
See, Abraham had trained servants, man. He had individuals around him that was faithful and that was unified with him. Read.
They had that hive mind.
They had that hive mind. They listen, that was a Hebrew that they took. We ain't dealing with that. We all got to get together. Read.
Born in his own house.
See, Abraham had these 300 servants in his own house. Read.
300.
But think about it. Let your brother get shot in the street.
Right.
You ain't trying to go help him. You trying to Snapchat that.
You got a sign that says "Hunt for Justice."
You trying to Instagram that. You trying to fulfill some vain glory. You trying to make sure that gets up on World Star. Fight breaks out. Instead of trying to break it up, you like, I got to World Star this. I got to join to the social media madness. That's what I'm unified in. The excessive riot. We got to see where our minds is at, man. Go ahead, read on.
318. And pursued them unto Dan.
Wait. How many?
318.
What verse you on?
I'm on 14 and 14.
Read verse 14 again.
And when Abraham heard that his brother was taken captive, he armed his trained servants.
Go ahead.
Born in his own house.
So yeah. Go ahead.
318.
Wait. He armed one man?
318.
It was just like two brothers.
318.
Go ahead, read on.
And pursued them unto Dan. And
no, they all went their own ways.
Pursued them unto Dan.
Wait. They decided that, like, well, I'm going to go this way to Dan. You're going to go to Jordan. You're going to go here.
They pursued him unto Dan.
Yeah, because they were unified. They understood, okay, we see the situation. We got a common goal. Go ahead.
And he divided himself against them.
Read.
He and his servants.
See, I like that. He said he divided. He had a plan. He was unified. They already knew what was going on. He divided. Listen, 10 of y'all go this way, 10 of y'all go this way, 15 of y'all go around the back. Come on, man. Read.
By night, and smote them, and pursued them unto Habah.
Read.
Which is on the left hand of Damascus.
Read.
And he brought back all the goods
Just, you know, Damascus is in Syria. Read.
And also brought again his brother Lot. And his goods.
See, he got Lot and the goods, man. But that was with unity. Abraham was moving with the wisdom of the Most High, not the wisdom of the world. Because the wisdom of the world will have you out here by yourself. You got your sister with you, but listen, some things done jumped off. Listen, you look behind to see if she there. She been gone. She not there with you. Give me Psalm chapter 133. God. Actually, you know what? Give me 1 Maccabees 3 and 14. John, give me that. John, give me that. 1 Maccabees 3:14. I want you to read through this. This is a good passage of scriptures right here to understand this.
I'll read it. Go ahead. This is 1 Maccabees chapter 3 and verse 14. He said, I will get me a name and honor in the kingdom, for I will go fight with Judas and them that are with him.
Judas is about to go up to war against the king. Read.
Who despised the king's commandment. So he made him ready to go up, and there went with him a mighty host of ungodly to help him, and to be avenged of the children of Israel.
Read.
And when he had came near to the going up of Betharon, Judas went forth to meet him with a small company.
See, Judas had a small company of loyal, faithful, unified men.
Who, when they saw the host coming to meet them, said unto Judas, how shall we be able, being so few, to fight against so great multitude and so strong?
Yeah, they was a little scared, but that was Judas's men. Judas didn't bring just average cats. Read.
Seeing that we were ready to faint with fasting all this day.
See, a lot of times that's where that iron sharpeneth iron, man. We have to be with each other. Because some of us might faint. But when you do faint, who's there to be with you? Yourself, your mama, your wife, your dog, your bird? No. We had strong men next to us. Read.
Verse 18. Unto whom Judas answered, It is no hard matter for many to be shut up in the hands of a few.
That's how you know it's a Judite. It ain't nothing. It ain't nothing to take on what's in front of us, man. Because we got the power of the Most High. Read.
And with the power of heaven, it is all one.
Read.
To deliver with a great multitude or a small company. For the victory of battle standeth not in the multitude of the host.
See, it don't stand in what you see in front of you. Read.
But strength cometh from heaven.
See, but strength comes from heaven, man. But the only way strength comes from heaven is through unity, if you read through these scriptures. That's the only way the Most High blesses us, man. And that's why a lot of times we lack blessings, because we're not unified. People's households ain't unified, you ain't getting blessed. School ain't unified, school ain't getting blessed. The Most High is waiting on us to get our minds right, to be in a hive mind, to be unified. You see us now. We got the possibility to get a school. Why? Because brothers is unified. Brothers is in the same mind, same judgment. We speak the same thing. Read.
For, that's a lot. Verse 20. They came against us in much pride and iniquity to destroy us. Think about that. Think about what pride does. Pride makes you think you can do things how you want.
Right.
How you going to come to somebody, how you going to be an army and be in a battle and you're going to be prideful as hell? Think about it. They were all prideful. So in that unit of pride, there was individual pride that said, you know what? I'm not going to hold the ranks. I'm not going to hold my position. So they said they came with pride and iniquity to destroy us. Watch this. And our wives and children, and to spoil us. But we fight for our lives and for our laws.
Hold on, and our what?
And our laws.
No, for myself.
And our laws.
No, for just my sister.
And our laws.
No, they fight for their people, their nationality, their heritage. That's what they were doing that for. Think about it. Ask yourself, why are you doing what you're doing? Is it for your husband? Is it for your wife? Is it for YouTube? Is it for you just want to wear some fringes? Or is it because you truly care for your nationality, for your heritage, for your people that are being killed and murdered and slaughtered in the streets? Read.
Wherefore the Lord himself will overthrow them before our face. And as for you, be ye not afraid of them. Now as soon as he had left off speaking, he leapt suddenly upon them.
Judas was a bad man. Jumped upon him like, listen, I'm going to show you. Action speak first. Read.
And so Sharon and his host was overthrown before him.
Read.
Then began the fear of Judas and his brethren.
Hold on, just Judas.
And his brethren.
No, the fearful.
And his brethren.
It was Judas and his brethren that was there with him. Because they were still unified. They still went ahead and fought that fight. It wasn't just Judas. It wasn't the spirit that was on Judas. It was the whole group. That's how the Most High gave that blessing. Read.
And an exceeding great dread fell upon the nations round about them.
Yeah, because they knew what unity does when Israel's unified. And that's why they're trying to break us up today. This is what we're trying to get back to. All these lessons, all these classes, all these self-examination of our own spirit, and understanding why we're not able to grasp the concept of what the Most High is trying to give us. The Most High wants unity by all means.
God. We get a few more.
Give me Romans 12 and 4, just real quick, just to hit this. Get that?
Yeah.
Give me Psalms 133 and 1.
Psalms chapter 133, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity.
Yeah, because the Most High is pleased with the unity. This is where, when you look at it, this is where the blessing comes from. I mean, the Scripture is going to tell us, and this is very basic. But even if you read that story about Judas Maccabees, think about it. They were unified in the same mind and judgment. So the Most High put the fear on them. Not that they were scared. He put the fear on them for nations to be nervous. Think about that. He put that spirit on them. He wasn't going to put his spirit on them if they weren't agreeing. If they didn't all say, we all going to go to war and fight. If there was some cowards amongst them, what would have happened? They would have got slaughtered. Because one man is ready to fight, and the other man is turning his back on his brother. But that's what was going on with the nations. So it says, behold how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. Go ahead.
It is like the precious ointment upon the head that ran down upon the beard, even Aaron's beard.
That precious oil, that precious ointment. What does ointment do? It heals. Unity is like a healing. You see that? Go ahead.
That went down to the skirts of his garment.
Go ahead.
As the dew of Hermon, and as the dew that descended upon the mountains of Zion.
Read.
For there the Lord commanded the blessing.
In the unity of brothers, that's where the Most High commands the blessing. He don't command the blessing in individuals.
Right. In
individual mind states. He commands that blessing when you like that hive mind. Where if something happens to you, it happens. Where one suffer, we all suffer. Where one is exalted, we're all exalted. That's what the Most High blesses. He blesses that mind. He's pleased with that unity. Go to real quick. We hit it the other day. Go to Ecclesiastes 24:1. Let's add this in. Yeah, have it. Good. Is it 24? 21. What is it? No. You know what I'm talking about?
25 and 1.
Yeah, 25 and 1. Oh, okay. You know what I mean. You know what I want. Oh, is it? Is it?
Yeah.
Oh. Go ahead, read that.
Ecclesiastes chapter 25 verse 1. In 3 things I was beautified, and stood up beautiful both before the Most High and men.
Go ahead.
The unity of brethren.
Wait. When brothers argue.
The unity of brethren.
Go ahead.
The love of neighbor.
Because that's a unity. Go ahead.
And a man and wife that agree together.
Yeah. Can two walk together, at least they be in agreement. Because when we're walking together in unity, what are we able to do? We're able to build. We're able to get things done. Y'all understand that?
Done.
Where else you want to go?
Give me
What's up, Jeremiah?
Oh, I was gonna say, for the one about the Tower of Babel, the Most High says, you know, when we all in the same mind, same judgment, nothing would heal from us.
Nothing. And that's the thing. Like, you gotta see it, man. Think about when we unify for evil.
Good.
Think about when we unify for evil, how much we get accomplished.
God.
You know, the problem with the black and Hispanic man is that we never really unify for good. Anything good. That's the problem. And then when we do, somehow it gets tainted. We unify in this truth. But even that, I don't want to say the truth is tainted, but it gets distorted to the unlearned and the people that don't get it. Because why? Different men come with different doctrines. Right? But imagine if we unify, man, what we could do. Think about it. They say if the black man just stopped purchasing for one day, this economy, the black and Hispanics, just say, you know, we ain't gonna buy nothing for one day. This economy will crumble. They say that we spend more money than any nation. on this planet. We spend trillions. We spend trillions of dollars in a year. Think about it. We got the biggest budget out of any nation, and we're not considered a nation. Think about it. So imagine if we say, you know what? We're going to stop buying gas for a day. Bruh, y'all want that gas price to go down? Don't buy gas for a day and see what happens. They'll lower that. Do some real unity. Where else you want to go?
Last scripture. Give me Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 24. Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 24.
Come. Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 24.
Uh-huh.
And let us consider one another to provoke unto love and to good works.
Hold on, provoke unto what?
Unto love and to good works.
Nah, provoke unto division, discourse, hatred, malice thoughts, murmuring lips. What does it say?
To provoke unto love and to good works.
See, that's what we're supposed to do, man. We're supposed to provoke each other to love and to good works. The Most High wants the unity, man. This is what we're here for each other for. To lean on me when you're not strong. That's a real song that nobody really could apply. Think about it. But this is where the best place to apply that, man. Our people are going through it. In-house and out-of-house. Read. Verse 25.
Not forsaking the assembly of ourselves together.
Because the Most High understands what it does for us when we do assemble ourselves together. When we do see each other. Because now I can see you face to face. Now I can see if you got issues. Now I can see if there's something wrong with you. Where you need to be healed. That's why it says confess your faults one to another that ye may be healed. Faults doesn't mean just wrongdoings that you did. But it could be the areas that you need help on, man. This is the best place to do it at, in unity. One body. Read.
As the manner of some is. But exhorting one another. And so much more. Right. As ye see the day approaching.
See, that's what we should be doing, man. We should be encouraging each other, being around each other. Why? Because the day is approaching, man. The day that the Most High is going to send his son Yahushua back is approaching. But before that,
go ahead.
But with that, we got terrors, we got rumors of wars, pestilence, all that goes on. What's going to happen when you caught out there by yourself? Woe to him that's left alone.
God.
The scriptures is preparing us to get ready for that. If those for those that weren't out here for the Houston flood, when we had the flood, we were together. God. We were unified. God. We had 3 people in each household so that nobody had to be by themselves. We had food, we had clothes, we had power, electricity. Brothers was gone to Trinidad. We had brothers at their house, watching their house. But how did we have that? We were unified. We were thinking about each other. Last scripture. Give me Matthew chapter 18 and verse 25. Matthew chapter 18 and verse 20. My apologies.
Matthew chapter 18 and verse 20.
Because this is what we got to understand, man. This is what we have to understand. If you really want to be blessed by the Most High, you'll gather together. Read.
For where 2 or 3 are gathered together.
No, just one.
2 or 3 gathered together.
Me by myself.
2 or 3 gathered together.
I could be bad all by my own.
2 or 3 gathered together.
I'm a bad mamma jamma.
2 or 3 gathered together.
Read.
In my name.
Okay.
There I am in the midst of them.
Yahushua said he's there when you're with your brethren. He's there when you're with your sisters. He's there when you're with the saints of the Most High. That's when Yahushua is with us. That's when the Most High is with us. And as all the examples that we showed, the brethren and the sisters around them, man, we have to be around our people. But this poison that they're trying to put in our head about you don't need to be around, you don't need to tell the things that are going on inside your mind, that's why you're going to die just like everybody else, man. The Most High don't want that for us. That's for the nations, man. That's for the wicked. That's not for his righteous. That's why we got to unify in spirit and in truth, man. We got any questions?
Just real quick online, he asked, he said, Foolish World 75, I was talking with my brother about the same stuff today, and he just can't accept the fact that salvation is for the Jews. what do I do in this situation? The scriptures say one man plant, another man water, the Most High give the increase. So it's not up to you to make him get it. That's the thing. We try to take things out of the hands of the Most High. Like, oh, I'm hitting you with this info. How come you don't get it? You gotta just plant that seed. You plant that seed, somebody else might come through and water it. They might hit him with the same conversation tomorrow. And that, the Most High is gonna say, okay, now it's time for you to get it. Scriptures also say, force not the course of the river. So you can't make him get it. That's what we gotta realize, that we can't make a person understand the truth. The Most High gives that increase. They gotta, he has to see it for himself. All you can do is present the info. But if he don't see it, there's nothing that you can do to make him see it. Maybe you can deliver things better. Our delivery and the way we come across can always be worked on. But as far as making somebody get it, that ain't gonna happen.
I was saying, you can't take it personal.
And you can't take it personal. That's the thing. You can't take it personal. I get it. I understand. You said this is your brother. The scriptures talk about that. It says 2 will be in the field and 1 will be taken. So it might not be for him to get. We got to consider all things that the scriptures say. So yeah, definitely don't take it personal.
Yeah, and one thing with that is that you have to continue to fight for your brother, man. And how you do that is by being that example, being that high standard individual that holds on to the laws and statutes in purity and in holiness, man, so that they can't find any ill dealings or ill ways in you. We have to have the example, man. A lot of times, the Most High put us in situations so that people can see how we move. But with that, we have to continue to fight for our people, man, because it's like you see, it's just not about you. You got the knowledge. Now it's for our people that is without. So we have to continue to fight, but have that good example. Remember that.
On that good example, the Judith.
Bring it up.
Go ahead.
Judith, chapter 8 and verse 24. Now therefore, O brethren, let us show an example to our brethren.
Let us do what?
Show an example to our brethren, because their hearts depend upon us.
Hold on, where you at again?
Judith, chapter 8 and verse 24. In the Apocrypha.
Go ahead.
Oh, now therefore, O brethren,
read.
Let us show an example to our brethren.
Right, so your thing right now is not to make him get it. Your thing is just to be a good example and be a standard of what you're learning. Go ahead.
Because their hearts depend upon us.
Read.
And the sanctuary, and the house, and the altar rest upon us.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, if you're learning and becoming this Hebrew Israelite, I'm not sure if it's a brother or a sister, but it's going to depend on you to carry the standard. So remember, we can't make anybody get anything. Nobody made me get the truth. It had to be, the scriptures say, my sheep hear my voice.
Right.
The Spirit bear record, the Spirit bear witness of who is his. So the Spirit got to bear witness with your brother. So just keep that in mind. Don't be too hard that he don't understand or he's not getting it. Just make yourself available to be able to ask questions and you give the right answer. And maybe through time and through more teaching and edification, he'll get it. All right? I know we went a little bit over. No questions in class? Off the topic? All right, well, there's nothing online. We definitely want to thank everybody for joining us. It was a real good class, real edifying. We definitely thank you. We will see you back here on Wednesday. Give them a salute.
Shalom!